Tuesday. Welcome to Uncle Lou After Dark, the college football call-in show. Make sure you're hitting the thumbs up here. We're going to start the show in 7 minutes. Should be a good one. Hard to believe Tennessee hadn't even won their conference since the late 1900s. Good morning, it's Uncle Lou here. That's right, it is me, Uncle Lou, live on YouTube for you. Thanks for watching, and happy Tuesday. This is Uncle Lou After Dark, the college football call-in show, and we do this twice a week, year-round. There is no off-season here. There's an off-season for a lot of you because you disappear every year from the end of January to the middle of August, but welcome back to those of you who do celebrate the off-season. We don't do that around here. So every Tuesday, Thursday night at 9 p.m., we're live talking college football. It is a call-in show. If you'd like to be a part of the show, click the link in the description of the video that says join the show. It's a StreamYard link. You don't have to download anything. You just click the link. It opens up a browser on your phone. You type your name or whatever you want me to call you in the box, hit Enter Studio, puts you in a back room where you'll be able to hear the show. And when it's your turn to come on, I'll put you on, and we will talk some college football. It's literally that easy. How's everybody doing? Everybody got their week off to a good start? How you Florida fans doing? Y'all starting to recover? Have you moved on? What are the 5 stages of grief? Well, it starts with denial, which, of course, was the phase you found yourself in all off-season, right? Denial. You've got sadness. There was a lot of that going on Saturday night. Remorse. You know, probably felt a little bad for all the dumb shit you said in the offseason. Anger. Fuck Billy Napier. Fuck this guy. Fuck DJ Lagway. And fuck Scott Strickland. And fuck that guy that spit on the guy. And acceptance. Have we reached acceptance level for the Florida fan? We'll find out tonight when they call in, because I'll ask them all, have you accepted the fact that you're a shit can program? Because that's what you are. You're not just a bad team. That's not what's going on. Now, you are a bad team, but you were a bad team last year. You were a bad team the year before that. You were a bad team the year before that. You're likely to be a bad team next year, bud. You're a bad program. Have you accepted that? That's what we're waiting on. That's what we're waiting on. The final stage in the grief pyramid. Acceptance. Man. Earlier today, I rewatched my appearance over on High Top Sports Channel from July. And boy, it's eye-opening. It's really eye-opening. Those are my Florida buddies. I like them over there. They had me on in July. We talked about all sorts of things involving college football and the SEC. And then we got around to Florida, and he asked me for my honest thoughts and opinions on Florida. So I gave my honest thoughts and opinions on Florida back in July. And the comment section was amazing. This guy's an idiot. This guy's retarded. This guy just hates Florida. This guy doesn't know ball. This guy's a moron. On and on and on and on and on. Now, today, all of those people are saying the same things about Florida that I told them in July. Acceptance. It's a beautiful thing. Bryce Underwear's dog shit, I guess, now, because he had a bad game, so he's not any good. So we can stop talking about him now. He's fucking... Best case scenario for Bryce Underwear is Jalen Mildew in a Michigan uniform, isn't it? Wow. Man, the Michigan fans didn't even get to hype him up for very long before we found out he was dog shit. Boy, this guy looked like a chicken with his head cut. He was deer in headlights routine, wasn't he? On Saturday, guy didn't know where he was. Holy shit. 9 of 24? What are you doing? What are you doing? 9 of 24? Come on, man. And you can't run the ball. At least Mildew could run the ball. Bryce Underwear can't even do that. He better get a lot better quick, fast, and in a hurry, which is going to be extremely difficult to do this year, considering the fact that Michigan doesn't have a single wide receiver that anybody else would want. Holy moly. How come y'all didn't tell me about that? Why didn't Michigan fans tell me about that? It's all about Justice Haynes this, and the offensive line that, and the defense this, and Bryce Underwear this and that. Why didn't you tell me y'all didn't have a single wide receiver that knows what they're doing? Dang. Michigan might be down bad this year. Michigan might be worse this year than last year. I don't know. Florida State, Alabama fans are back on the bandwagon. They're going 11-1 and winning the World Series now because they beat Louisiana Monroe. So, at least we got 1 week of Alabama fans living in reality. You know, Alabama fans were living in reality from the halftime of the Florida State game till halftime of the Louisiana Monroe game. Now they're right back to thinking that Kalen DeBoer is a great fit and, you know, whatever else dumb shit they think. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Colorado has made a quarterback change already. They've benched Caden Salter. They're skipping over QB2, true freshman Juju Lewis, and going straight to third string nobody. Something, Matt Staub, is that his name? Something Staub. He did play pretty good this past weekend against Delaware. Delaware. Bryce Underwear. Boy, Bryce Underwear had a full load Saturday night, didn't he? Dang. Full fucking load. How's everybody doing? Let's take roll. I need to know who's here. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, please, here at the start of the show. That's a big help. It takes very little time, effort, or energy on your part, but it is a big help to me and the channel. So please go ahead and hit the thumbs up. We're about to get to the phone calls here in just a second. And yes, Octavian is back there waiting. And yes, I'm going to put him on first. If enough people hit the thumbs up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to put him up first either way. William Watson, Celine Driver's up late on a Tuesday. Was something wrong, bud? Brad Pitt, B. Bean, searching for sanity. You came to the wrong place, my guy. Are you lost? There's no sanity here. You're not going to find any of that here, bud. Whipmaster Hart, Bama Dude, Jay Shipes. Shout out to Jay Shipes, the rigged wheel winner from this past Saturday morning. Jay Shipes, certified ball knower. That's right. He picked a winner on the rigged wheel this week. Shout out to Jay Shipes. By Insanity, MC Carrie T, Greg Brown, Trevor, 225 Girl, G-Man, Jay Diz, Bo Hunting, Tim Russell, Let the Big Dog Eat, Brock F, Tim Skelton, Radically Optimistic, Sasquatch, Four-Wheel Drive. Dang, Sasquatch, Four-Wheel Drive. Jeff Wallraven, The Norwegian Method, lose official white gorilla mask. You have to really be a OG and fan of the channel to have any idea what that means. I'm not going to repeat the story here. That's for Uncle Lou. That's for off-season shit show / disaster streams is where we talk about those kinds of things. But yeah, shout out to anybody that knows what Uncle Lou's white gorilla mask actually means. Yeah. Seminole Sam, Tony Myers, Robert, Roland, Jared, Gaskins. 3 names, bud. How many people have you killed? How many people have you killed, sir? As Octavian would say. Why do you have to list all 3 names, bud? How many people have you killed? We have a serial killer in the comments section. Shout out to you. Man listed all 3 of his government names. That's a dead giveaway. He's either a serial killer or will be one at some point. Roland Jared Gaskins. I don't have nothing bad to say about you, sir. I don't have a single bad thing to say about you. You're a stand-up human being and a great individual. Now, so leave me and my family alone. Thank you. Thank you, bud. Yep. Michael Austin is here. Trevor, Biggs Mike, Wild Bill, Charles Smith, Tough Guard, Bertonius, Texas Rattlesnake. Is that you, Steve Austin? Is that you? I knew you watched Uncle Lou every day like you were supposed to. I knew it. I knew it. Can we get a 1998? I don't know. Can we? Remember 2 years ago when Georgia played up at Tennessee and Tennessee was sure they were going to beat Georgia? They dug up Dolly Parton and wheeled her half dead ass out onto the field to sing songs and shit. God damn. What were y'all thinking? Seriously. Fuck Dolly Parton. God dang. Fucking she looks like a dinosaur exhibit at the Smithsonian. That fucking bag of bones has done had so much plastic surgery and lifts and tucks and everything else. She looks like, I don't know what, she looks like a Halloween decoration. Fuck Dolly Parton. I ain't gonna lie. Tennessee fans get really mad when you talk about Dolly Parton. That's why it's fun to do it. I don't even really hate Dolly Parton. I don't have a feeling about Dolly Parton one way or the other. It started out one year, I made a joke about Dollywood on a video one time about how it was, Six Flags is better than Dollywood or something like that. And then I had a bunch of people in the comments like, Dolly Parton's off limits. Don't talk about Dolly Parton. She's Tennessee royalty or something. I was like, okay, they're sensitive about Dolly Parton. Note to self, make sure and talk a lot of shit about Dolly Parton in the future. And so I've been doing that. And wow, they get irate quick, fast, and in a hurry when you tell them what a scuzz bucket Dolly Parton is. Yeah, they don't like that shit at all. They don't like that shit at all. They get really mad. Anyway, welcome to the show. Glad everybody's here. Let's get to the phone calls and see what it is everybody wants to talk about. And here you go, what you've all been waiting for since Saturday night. Ladies and gentlemen, 5-star caller. 5-star caller. Octavian, the Florida fan. What's up, buddy? You down bad or what?
First off, I always want to say, spot the motherfucking U-Haul, sir. Spot the motherfucking U-Haul. Did you see what he said Monday?
No.
He said that the reporter asked him, is he still going to call the plays? And he says yes. And he kept saying yes. I swear to God, if this motherfucker lose this fucking game Saturday, I am going to kick his motherfucking ass. I hate this dude.
You're losing Saturday. You're probably going to lose by 30.
I'm going to kick his ass, bro. I can't. I hate losing to these fucking teams, man. Cause these fucking teams make fun. I just hate them, man. And especially LSU. Fuck LSU and they fans. Disrespectfully, I hate those motherfuckers, and I hope we go in there and upset those motherfucking Cajuns so we can get the bad taste out of our goddamn mouth. While we go in there and slap the shit out of them, we are very angry, we're upset, and I'm tired of these fucking fans, especially the Tennessee fans and the Georgia fans talking shit all goddamn weekend. When one of y'all motherfuckers lose this weekend, I'm going to end y'all motherfuckers.
Well, none of them are losing to a group of 5 team, though.
Yeah. But
in their own state. So
that I can't defend that. That was Billy Napier's fault. The worst coach in the history of planet Earth. Fuck him. Get him the fuck up out of there. I had enough. I had a fucking meltdown. It took me 2 hours to realize that we lost to South Florida because I was so heated. I swear, if I could just touch him Saturday afternoon, he probably would have been dead. It would have been breaking news. Billy Napier has been killed by a fan on live TV because what he's done has fucked up a Ferrari and he's crashed it into a million pieces. He's ruined my weekend every weekend with the lies, deception that we're top 5 team. Spot the ball and we'll play anybody anywhere. You soft motherfucker. You can't even call a goddamn fucking running draw.
All right.
You soft asses.
Okay, now let me ask you this, because I know that Florida fans now are running around and they all hate Billy Napier. I get that. But talk to me about DJ Wagway, Woo. Why is he hot fucking garbage?
He is, hey man, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with DJ, but I tell you this, if he doesn't find himself, he could take his shit back to Texas, bro. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but I don't know. But yeah.
What do you think about what do you think about the Florida fans that are afraid to fire Billy Napier because they think if Billy Napier gets fired, they think that if Billy Napier gets fired, they'll lose DJ Lagway. So they want to keep Napier for one more year just so they don't lose Lagway. What do you think about that?
I won't give a damn.
Yeah, that's smart, man. That's right.
I won't give one down.
Yeah.
Fuck DJ Lagway if he does. I don't give a damn. He'll get the Nico treatment. We'll stick that shit up his ass. We'll get another quarterback. We got Tramel Jones. I don't want to give a damn. Fuck if he leaves with Billy Napier, damn fuck DJ Lagway.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not even trolling. I think it's if you come to the conclusion that you don't think your coach is going to win to the level that you want him to win at, I don't think you should consider keeping him just because you're afraid some player may transfer. I think that's ridiculous.
Like,
if the guy is terrible, you got to get rid of him. And if players transfer, then they transfer. But I think this is ridiculous. These Florida fans thinking let's keep Napier one more year so that we don't lose Lagway. I think that's backwards thinking.
Yeah, but anyway, fuck these. Where is the fucking these FSU fans coming from, man? Oh, since y'all beat up on the pats on the backs for the FSU, man, they beat up on a local elementary school last week, and they think they done something. Wait till the fourth. You thought that we overreacted? Wait till the fourth. Wait till you see their faces on those FSU fans on the 4th of October when they get their ass handed to by fucking Miami. Fuck y'all. And that's just for the record. Jose, Georgia ain't shit, bud.
What?
Georgia's dog shit.
Hold on, man. Slow your roll, buddy. What? Florida's dog shit, not Georgia.
Now, hold on.
Florida's dog
now.
shit.
Hold on.
What are
now,
you talking
man.
about? Georgia's
Hold
dog
on.
shit.
Y'all offense is dog shit, man.
No, it
I'm
ain't.
just gonna tell you that.
No, it ain't.
It is dog
Florida's
shit.
offense is dog shit. You can't score on South Florida, my guy. You can't score. Come on, man. Hey, now you was doing good, man. Leave Georgia out of this shit, man. You don't play Georgia till Halloween. You don't even know who your coach will be by that point. The Lagway may or may not be in a body bag by then. You gonna come on here and say some shit about Georgia's offense? Georgia's averaging 36, 37 points a game against 2 cans of corn, man. Fuck Florida. Come on here with the fuck. You can't come on here after a loss to South Florida and give me the fuck Georgia speech. No,
you know what it is.
No, buddy. You need to slow down. Now we're friends, and you're my favorite caller. But holy moly, man, what are you doing? Y'all are a fucking disgrace and a disaster. One of the worst programs in the SEC right now. You're looking up at Vanderbilt. You're looking up at Vandy.
I don't care if we 5-5. We're gonna still kick y'all fucking ass.
Oh my God, here we go with this already. Man, you don't ever learn. I think you like losing. I think you like losing, and I think you like being wrong.
Announcement to all you LSU fans out there that think y'all about to get a fucking easy victory, it's just the beginning, because we're going to come in there, slap y'all in the fucking face, and we're going to take over fucking Tiger Stadium Saturday afternoon. Stick this shit up your ass, sir, because we're going to come in there and take the trophy, sir. Go Gators and fuck LSU.
Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
What's going on, Lou?
Hey, buddy.
All right. I'm going to switch over to a team that I was looking at in terms of just getting a pulse on. For some reason, I know they had an impressive win last week, and I'm still a little bit skeptical about Illinois. I don't think they're a Fugazi team. I think they're good, but it's just the more that I look into them for probably the past year, there's always something to me that sticks out with them, whether it be in their game flow or the box score, that I just don't know if they're a real sustainable team going forward. I like Burt as a coach a lot, but especially what I saw in the Duke game, impressive win by them. That turnover margin is not sustainable whatsoever, with forcing 4 fumbles, recovering 4 fumbles, all the close wins that they had last year. I think like 2 or 3 of them were off like walk-off touchdowns and whatnot. I think they're a good team and deserve their ranking, but I just don't know how sustainable they're going to be down the stretch.
Well, I agree with you about turnovers not being sustainable and definitely not predictable, especially when it comes to forcing turnovers. Now, I do think that a team I think has more control over turnovers they commit than turnovers they cause. And so I agree they're not likely to average 5 turnovers a game, but I watched all of that game. I mean, Illinois was the better team the entire time, even with or without the turnovers. I mean, sure, the score would have been a lot closer were it not for the turnovers, but Illinois was clearly the better team to me. The problem with Illinois this year versus last year, or even versus trying to compare them to like Indiana last year, is their schedule. So they play. First of all, they play at Indiana in 2 weeks. That's going to be a great game. I think Illinois is better than Indiana, but we'll see. They then play Southern Cal. Southern Cal's unranked right now. They might be ranked by the time that game is played, though. They play Southern Cal. They play Ohio State. They play at Washington. They're going to lose a couple of those games probably. Now, there's also some very winnable games here. They've got Rutgers. You look at the last sort of 4 games, Rutgers, Maryland, Wisconsin, Northwestern. They're likely to win all those. So it comes down to from the Indiana game on September 20th through the Washington game on October 25th. So they have like a 1 month period. 1, 2, 3, these 5 games here. They got Purdue in the middle. They'll win that one, I'm sure. But these 4 here, Indiana, Southern Cal, Ohio State, and Washington, they got to win 2 of them. If they win 2, they're probably going 10-2. Because I don't think they're losing to anyone else. I don't think they're losing to Rutgers, Maryland, Wisconsin, Northwestern, or Purdue. Do you?
Yeah, I think that's a very reasonable assessment. And I frankly said this before the season. I like Illinois going to Indiana. Now, it's obviously going to be a little bit tougher now. It's a night game and whatnot. I think Bloomington's going to be absolutely rocking for it. But I think overall, Illinois is a better team defensively. I kind of like Burt with what he's done, not only just with the line of scrimmage, but he's done a good job developing the secondary. I mean, we've seen guys like Devin Witherspoon not only thrive there, but go to the league as well. And I think in terms of a few other pothole spots, I know you had Illinois beating Ohio State earlier in the year. I still think Ohio State has a more likely chance of losing to either Washington or Michigan, but that's going to be a tough game for the Buckeyes. That Purdue spot to me is tricky. I know Purdue's a rebuilding team, but Purdue should have won that game last year in Champaign.
Well, and that's the biggest that's the biggest trap game you'll ever see. Purdue sandwiched between 4 legitimate teams. It's easy to overlook it. I just overlooked it. I'm writing it off as an automatic win, right? So that is your typical trap game. I still think Illinois' most likely record at the end of the year is 9-3, and on the outside looking in at the playoffs. But it is possible, if things go right, that they get to 10-2 and get in. Now, if they get in, that's where I completely will agree with you. They don't have much of a shot in the playoffs, I don't think.
Yeah.
They could. Now, saying, they'll be eliminated in the first game, I don't know. None of us know. We don't know what the matchups will be. Will they be at home? Will they be on the road? Will they be playing a team, a top 5 team that didn't win their conference? Or will they be playing a second or third team from the ACC. So I don't know, but I do know I would never pick Illinois to win, 2, 3, 4 games in a row against top 10 teams. But I do think there's a possibility they get in.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I think that there is a viable path, but it's just going to be a matter of, are they going to show that they can actually play sustainable football? Kind of what we've seen, in the past year or so. But in terms of the Bulldogs 3-1 Saturday, before I go, please beat the shit out of the Voltards.
Okay.
Just please, for the love of God, do it.
I promise to try. Yeah, I promise to try as hard as I can. Thank you for the call. We're used to kind of separating teams into 2 categories in college football. Like, this is the group of teams that has a chance to win a natty, and this is the group of teams that can't. And you can still do that if you want. But it's more about 3 kind of groups now. You've got teams you think can win the natty, and generally I'm looking at 5, 6 teams, I think, that maybe have that shot, 7 maybe. So you've got teams that you think can win the natty, teams that aren't even making the playoffs, but then teams that you think could make the playoffs but have no chance to win the natty. Like, we know somebody from the group of 5's getting in, right? South Florida, UNLV, Tulane, James Madison, whatever you think it's going to be. I don't think anybody thinks the group of 5 team, whoever it is, has any shot at all of actually winning the natty. So I put Illinois in that second category. To me, Illinois is a team that if a few things go right for them over the course of the regular season, specifically in that 5-game stretch that we just looked at, they could be a team that could get into the playoffs at 9 or 10 wins. I don't put them in a category of team that I think has any actual chance of winning the national championship, though. Let's read the super chats from the start of the show, and then we'll get right back to the phone calls. I didn't want to waste any time. I wanted to put Octavian on right away because I know a lot of people were tuned in. and wanted to hear what he had to say. So let's catch up on these super chats, though. The Norwegian Method, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you helping support the show tonight. He says, was the picture on the left Dolly Parton back in 1998? Picture of, what's the guy's name from the Emperor or whatever from Star Wars? Gatorman69, thank you for helping to support the show. He says, why are people saying Ryan Day, if Napier gets fired, he's better than Day? Hold on a second. Wait, what now? You think Billy Napier is better than Ryan? You have to be trolling. Gatorman69, there is no way you think Billy Napier is better than Ryan Day. Please tell me you're joking. What in the fuck is the matter with you? Ryan Day has the highest winning percentage in the history of college football. What are you talking about? Are you still in here? Or did you keel over and die? It seems like oxygen's gonna get cut off to your brain. What in the world? Ryan Day is not a good coach. But, buddy, you've been watching Florida shit the bed for so long, you don't know what a good coach is if you don't think Ryan Day is a good coach. I almost understand a little bit, maybe a Michigan fan saying, oh, Ryan Day's a terrible coach because of the rivalry and you just have to hate everything about Ohio State. But even a Michigan fan saying it would be wrong, though. But this is just crazy to try to actually type out in English that you think Billy Napier is a better coach than Ryan Day. That's I seriously doubt I'll read anything dumber than that the rest of the day, maybe the rest of the week. 5-star dummy. But as always, thank you for the super chat. Yeah. Matthew Watson says, Vol's going to kick the fleas off the dogs and your shitty O-line don't get another after you lose. Matthew Watson is big fucking mad today. Matthew Watson, you've typed this every year in my comment section since 2016. Eventually you'll be right and Tennessee will beat Georgia. Maybe it'll be Saturday. I don't know. But it's extremely unlikely. Guy even made Uncle Lou his profile picture. Are you a fan, Matthew Watson? Are you mad about the Dolly Parton joke? Fuck Dolly Parton. The Norwegian Method said he's called Brown Underwear, not Bryce Underwear. No, it's Bryce Underwear. Slim Shady Canes, thank you for the super chat. He says, coming to a We're Back rankings near you soon. Bama already halfway there. No, I don't think they are. Didn't they win the SEC in 2023? Yeah. So the earliest Bama could get on the We're Back list would be 2033. So they got quite a ways to go before they would be considered for that. John Dickens, thank you for the super chat. He says, Bama versus Florida. Whomever screams and cries the loudest gets to fire their coach and the loser pays the buyout. That's interesting. The loser has to pay the buyout. Brett Brown, thank you for the super chat. He said, Octavian heel turn at the end. Drugs are bad. Yeah, come on, Octavian. You should have come on here and cried and bitched and moaned about how bad Florida and Billy Napier and DJ Lagway are. Instead, you turned your attention to LSU, which I'll let you get away with since you're playing them this week. But then you directed your ire towards the University of Georgia for no reason. A team and a program that is so far ahead of you, you couldn't see them with the Hubble telescope. And you don't play them for another 6 weeks. It made no sense. My guy. Uncle Lou, thank you for being a good dude, as always, for helping Matt be great. Yeah, I had never really had any contact with Matt Be Great, and I found out what was going on with his channel, and so I got in touch with him. Not that there's much I could do, but whatever I could do, I wanted to do. And so I talked to him a couple of times this week, and I'm glad to hear that he finally got it straightened out. This is a great line of work to be in, what people like me and Matt Be Great do. I mean, we're some of the luckiest people alive to be able to talk about college football for a living. But it is extremely stressful doing it under the YouTube umbrella because they can take it away from you at any time. And in Matt Be Great's case, for no reason. Now, luckily, he was able to get in touch with a human being at YouTube, and I'm telling you, that is extremely hard to do. I've only been able to do it a couple of times. It's hard to get a hold of an actual person, and he was able to get the problem resolved. But it's the nightmare scenario for people like me and Matt and everyone else who relies on YouTube to pay their bills, to support their family, that it can just be ripped away from you with no reasoning, no explanation, no opportunity for you to plead your case or to provide an explanation to anybody. It would be like if you showed up at your job tomorrow and they said, you're fired. Actually, in Matt's case, it was even worse. They said, you're not fired. You can keep working, but we're not paying you anymore, is what they told Matt. They kicked him out of a YouTube partner program, which means he can't monetize his channel. So he can still upload and post videos, just not going to pay you for it. So it'd be like if you went to work tomorrow and they said, hey, we're not paying you anymore. You can still work if you want to, but we're not paying you anymore. No, actually, it's even worse than that. It would be like if you got an email from your job that said, hey, you can come to work tomorrow, but we're not paying you, and you're not allowed to talk to anybody about this or ask any questions or state your case or plead your case or provide any explanation. We're not going to actually let you talk to any human being in HR or nothing, but we're just not paying you anymore. So luckily they got it straightened out. Luckily they got it straightened out. Like I said, I haven't had a lot of interaction with him over the years. I know who he is. I've seen a handful of his videos, and from what I can tell, he seems like a pretty nice guy. And so when I found out what happened, I got in touch with him. And, like I said, it's like I told him, I said, I don't really know what I can do to help, but if there's anything I can do, let me know. So I retweeted his thing to YouTube and all that. And, but yeah, luckily, he got it turned around. So that was good. That was good. And as far as I know now, everything is fine over there for him. So that's good. All right. Anybody else mad about Dolly Parton, or you want to move on to the phone calls? Anybody else mad about my Dolly Parton jokes? I can't believe he said he doesn't like Dolly Parton. I'm going to send him a super chat and tell him how mad I am about it. Thank you for sending me tomorrow's lunch money, bud. Thank you. That's nice of you. Sure you feel better now. You can go to school tomorrow and tell everybody at the playground you sent Uncle Lou a super chat. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Lou.
Hey.
So just want to start this off by saying thank you to every team that absolutely dropped a giant pile of shit this past weekend, because that kind of kept the spotlight off Penn State. Wasn't our best showing. It was a little rough. I'm kind of hoping it's one of those things where they're just like, we're trying to do all the things that we're really bad at so that we can kind of touch them up against subpar opponents that, we can at least shut out.
Yeah.
But
I mean, in the end, that game won't matter. I mean, look, Clemson had the same thing. Georgia had the same thing. Texas in the first quarter wasn't great. LSU was only beating La Tech 10-0 at halftime. Like, a lot of that goes on between highly ranked teams and lower classification schools. In the end, 2 months from now, if you're sitting there at 11-1 or 10-2 or whatever, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. I don't really put any more stock in Penn State struggling with UConn than I do in Northwestern beating whoever they beat 66-0, or Minnesota beating whoever they beat 70-0. Like, I don't think there's a single person in the comment section right now that would bet $1 on Northwestern beating Penn State tomorrow.
No.
Like, you can't draw straight lines in college football from one game to the next involving these different teams, especially when it's lower classification schools. I've seen really good teams beat teams 70-0. I've seen really good teams barely beat Kent State and go on to win a natty. Like, you just can't draw straight lines from one to the other.
Yeah, and
It's frustrating to watch.
unfortunate-
Like, believe me, I'm watching the Georgia game. I'm yelling and screaming and what the fuck is this? And every fan base is complaining about these bubble screens that everybody's running. Georgia came out on one possession and they came out on one possession and ran 3 of those in a row for a combined loss of 2 yards, and then ended up punting on 4th and 12. Literally 3 in a row. Boom, boom, boom. Loss, punt. Like I was screaming at the top of my lungs. But in the end, I still want only one. Well, I want 2 things out of those games. I want to win, and I want no injuries. Unfortunately,
Right.
Georgia had a couple of injuries, and hopefully they're not too serious, and we'll get those guys back. But that's way more important to me than what Florida State fans on Twitter bragging about beating something 70-0 a week after they beat Alabama by 2 touchdowns is ridiculous. You should still be talking about the Alabama game.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nobody cares about the East Texas A&M thing. Like, it doesn't matter at all. It literally doesn't matter. I swear to you, Georgia could easily find one play that works against all. You know what it's like when it's like when you play video game football and you find a play that just works every time, and it's fucking annoying and it's boring, but you can just run this one play every time and beat your opponent by 50 if you want to. Teams like Georgia, Penn State, whatever, any of these top 10 teams that play these FCS teams, they could easily do that. They could take their best wide receiver and run a go route and throw it to him every single time. And would he catch every one? No, but he'd catch more than he didn't, and they'd win the game 50-0, and the team would not get better. That doesn't improve your team. It's like you said. What are we struggling with? What are some new things maybe we want to try? Are there players we want to try at some different positions? Let's do that and win this game 30-10 instead of just running a go route to our best player over and over again and winning 50-0. So I really don't put any stock in it at all.
And the good thing I will say I'm seeing is we're doing a lot of rotation at like O-line, and that's one of those where you can't have enough depth. You have a O-lineman go down and you don't have anybody behind them who's even remotely prepared. You're screwed whenever you're going up against a team like Ohio State that can just send somebody right down that chute and sack you within a second.
Yeah.
But I'm to the point now, and I don't know how much you've been following how much I say in here, but I'm to the point now where this is the last chance. This season's the last chance for James Franklin. And my bar that he's got to hit, he has to beat 2 teams that are at least toss-ups. So I'm thinking like Oregon, Ohio State level. And likely has to make it to the championship game. I mean, this is...
Well, if he makes it to the championship game, he's going to beat a lot more than 2 of those teams you're talking about.
You say that. Last year, we would have beaten Notre Dame and who else?
Well, Notre Dame is one of the teams you're talking about.
I get it. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm saying that would have been the only good team that we would have beat last year and made it to the championship. It almost would have felt hollow. It would have been worth it. It would have been great, only for us to get our throat stomped in by an Ohio State fan.
You don't think SMU was good last year?
I do think SMU is good.
Okay.
I don't think SMU is to the tier that Penn State says that they want to be.
Well, yeah, but
Penn State,
right? But 6 teams get in the playoffs that aren't in that. Like, there's only 5 or 6 teams a year that are in that tier you're talking about. So, I mean, like, nobody should be apologizing for beating SMU in the playoffs. Like, I don't.
So let me. You went through a similar, not quite exactly the same, but as a Georgia fan, you went through similar. I mean, you say about it all the time about James Franklin. He has the similar issues that you went through.
Yeah.
The success is great. I'm spoiled with success. I'm spoiled with the 10-win seasons. Most teams would be great to be like, yeah, we won 10 games this year. I mean, Illinois is throwing parties because last year was one of their best years on record. And I get that. I guess I'm spoiled to the point now where he has all the tools. If he can't make the tools work in such a way that he can actually start toppling some of these bigger teams, if we can't beat Oregon at home, which Oregon does look like a juggernaut, I'm not gonna act like that's gonna be an easy one. But it's at home. It's a night game. They're traveling across so many time zones. It's got to happen at least once. I'm personally saying it has to happen twice this year, at least. And that likely means making it to the championship game, because Boise State, for instance, isn't getting a bye this year.
Yeah, but you don't know who you're playing in the first round.
I get it.
You might play Georgia in the first round. So you're discounting a potential win over Georgia or LSU or Clemson or Miami. Why?
Mm-hmm. It would be almost there.
Well, what it would be is a miracle if you what it would be is a miracle if you beat one of those teams. So I don't understand why now, 3-4 months before it potentially could even happen, you're already saying that that's not enough. I don't understand that logic at all.
Last year, my point was, let's make it to the playoffs and win a game. I was happy with last year. I'm sure there were a ton of people who weren't happy with last year because we lost to Notre Dame after beating two, they're going to say, not good teams. I agree. They were good teams.
I see what you're saying. If you don't win a national title, then your entire program and coaching staff sucks. All right, thank you for the call. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
What's up, Boo?
Hey, Eric.
Well, that was a great game by Missou this weekend.
That was a great game. Yeah, that was a good one there. Time to rethink what we thought about Missou, I think. They might be better than last year, not worse.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. And then I loved how we started the show tonight. We gotta put them on early.
What?
You had to put Octavian on first.
Oh yeah. I had to put Octavian on. Yeah, I had to put Octavian on first. Yeah, I had to.
Yeah. I mean, he sounded somewhat normal for a little bit there, and then he starts talking about Georgia, and then I'm like, okay.
Yeah, talking about a game, when you're a Florida fan and you just lost to South Florida and you're talking about beating Georgia in 6 weeks, I don't know what we're doing here. I mean, you play LSU on the road. You know how many they play LSU at LSU. Next, you know who they play next week?
Who's that?
At Miami. You know who they play after that?
Boy.
You know who they play after that?
Where's that?
Texas at home. Then they play at Texas A&M.
Oh.
Now, they're not winning any of those, but he wants to call up and yell about Halloween. The guy's got issues. I love Octavian to death, but the guy's got issues.
Yeah, but we all love him, but yeah, I mean, yeah. And then so I guess it's Tennessee week this week, huh?
Yeah, Georgia on the road at Knoxville, 3:30 on Saturday. That's the game day game. Game day is going there.
Ooh.
College game day.
Nice.
Georgia's a 3.5-point favorite.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds like
Georgia
fun.
hasn't lost in Knoxville since 2015.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Tennessee hasn't thrown a touchdown pass against Georgia since 2021.
Wow.
Josh Heupel's never scored more than 2 touchdowns against Georgia.
Yeah, you got the facts, Boo.
And Georgia's terrible. They're awful. Haven't you heard?
Yeah.
They got no offense. Gunnar Stockton can't throw the ball. The offensive line is bad. There's 2 players hurt.
Bad.
The running backs are no good. Georgia's in a bad way, man. Georgia's in a bad way. I feel bad for them having to walk into this Lions den this weekend in Knoxville, Feel real bad for them.
Nico's not even going to even be there.
What's that now?
And Nico's not going to even be there.
Yeah, they don't need Nico. They got Joey Swagular. He's the best quarterback in the SEC. I mean, Georgia's got no chance here.
Yeah. All right, bud. Have a good night, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Eric. Good to hear from you, buddy. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
What's up, Lou?
Hey, buddy.
How's it going?
Going good.
Are we going to talk about how the Florida fans are turning into Nico? I mean, the Florida fans are talking about DJ Liveway as the Tennessee fans were talking about Nico.
Oh, yeah, exactly like it.
It's like Florida fans are making DJ Liveway a glorified version of Nico.
Yeah, they've been doing that for a year. I've been telling them that for a year, and I've been telling them the result is going to be the same. Just like Tennessee and Nico, they're not going to win anything.
When will Tennessee stop with the we're going to beat Georgia by 50 every year?
Never. They'll never stop with that.
With a group of 5 quarterback and playing against the Georgia defense, not happening.
Yeah, you can't tell them that. I mean, Hendon Hooker, Joe Milton, and Nico couldn't throw a touchdown pass against Georgia, but Joey Shagwell is going to beat them 50-0.
Crazy, Lou. All right, that's
weird.
That's all I have.
All right, yeah, thank you for the call. It's really weird. Andy Kicklighter, thank you for the super chat. He says everyone says South Florida is good, but who they played? By the way, Florida man, it's spot the ball, not spit the ball. I bet the player that did that has had a rough week. I don't know if he's on social media or not, but if he is, I hope he's not logging in. And I bet the team should do something about that. I know you're not necessarily allowed to handle things in the locker room the way you were 20 or 30 years ago, and I'm not suggesting you should. I'm not saying they should physically assault the guy or anything like that, but he should pretty much be an outcast in his own locker room. Like, that's a situation the players should handle. The coaches shouldn't even really have to get involved. If there's any leadership on the Florida team, which, hey, there probably ain't. But if there is, that's a situation that the coaches really shouldn't even have to get involved in. That should be handled by his teammates. That should be handled by his teammates. Isaiah Thomas, what's up, buddy? Thank you for the super chat. He says, big fan, Uncle Lou, world famous Buckeyes fan here. Just wanted to say that Gator Man is snorting the finest of crack. We are going back to back. Now, there's some fair criticism out there of Ryan Day over the last few years. The Michigan thing was weird. They were getting beat up along the lines of scrimmage there his first few years, but that started to change when Knowles came in as defensive coordinator, and of course last year they won a natty, and he's got the highest winning percentage in the history of mankind. And this whole, he was born on third base thing, okay, well, that was 6 years ago. Okay, all the players on his team now are his. He's done the recruiting. He's done the building. He's done, just because you take over a team that is in a good spot doesn't mean that you're going to continue to win at a high level, right, Kalen DeBoer? Can anybody tell me who was the head coach at Southern Cal after Pete Carroll? Who was it, and why didn't they win a bunch of natties? Pete Carroll left at the height of the Southern Cal dynasty. Why didn't the next coach win a bunch of natties? Most of you can't even tell me who the coach was. That's how bad it was. I mean, so discounting everything Ryan Day has done because Ohio State was good when he got there? No. If that was the case, then whoever the first good football program was would have been good every day from the beginning of time. Because whatever coach made the program good would leave, the next coach would continue and be good, and that he'd leave, and the next coach would continue and be, but it doesn't work that way. Even the best programs in the history of college football, Bama, Ohio State, whatever you want to name, it's up and down, it's up and down, it's up and down. The best programs have more ups than downs, but there are downs. Who took over after Bear Bryant? There's not a person watching that can tell me Most Alabama fans can't even tell me because they're not real fans. But you can't even tell me who took over for Bear Bryant. But guess what? They won 0 fucking natties. None. 0. Like, Ryan Day is a great coach. Not good, great. Did Penn State drop the ball and let Bo Pribula go over Aller? I don't know. He's looked good through the first couple of weeks. Pribula has. He's looked good. Bama isn't an elite program. 5-star dummy. Do you eat through a straw? Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Good morning, and that to you and to sir. How are you?
Good.
I mean, yeah, you're dealing with a bunch of losies here tonight. So I just wanted to get on here and not apologize for what we did to Oklahoma State on national television. Good God, I didn't know they allowed, murder cases to be broadcasted live over national television.
That was something.
That was something I didn't even expect. I predicted 49-17, but yeah, that was biblical what we did to them, and probably going to be something similar when we go into that soccer stadium they call a stadium up at Northwestern while they're getting their new one rebuilt. 12,000 people. I think the place I work at, it has a more square footage footprint than the stadium we're about to go play in. I can't really trash talk Northwestern fans because there really isn't any. So I thought I'd get on here and trash talk Tennessee fans. Because it's just so damn fun. Because every year we get on here and we hear the Tennessee man say, "This is the year we're going to figure it out," when they never do. So I wanted to ask you, the Tennessee, they're called the Volunteers, and they got the decrepit looking dog that they run out on the sideline, looks sick, underfed, malnourished, and then they got Davy Crockett, the volunteer man that. I don't know if Tennessee fans know the true story of Davy Crockett, but he's a loser.
Yeah.
He lost the Congress race, defects to Texas, and then gets his ass kicked in the Alamo by a bunch of Mexicans.
Yeah.
And the reason he left Congress in Tennessee is because the guy he supported wanted to do the Indian thing, this and that, and the third, to get rid of the Indians, kick the Indians out of Tennessee. But he's a loser. So I guess it's not a surprise that Tennessee is just lifelong losers. They haven't won anything this century. And they're not going to, because they're Tennessee and they have no guts. They have no glory. They're named after losers. They're always going to be losers. And that's just a fact. And maybe if they stop running Davy Crockett out on the field, maybe that's when they'll finally decide to win something. Now, I do actually have a good question that I want to wrap this all up with. We could talk Tennessee all night. But if Oregon, now this is a big if, just based off what we've seen so far on the field. I know we still got to play the game. It's a couple weeks away. But for just in the vast hypothetical, Oregon loses to Penn State. Penn State loses to Ohio State, and Ohio State loses to Michigan, or goes undefeated. Ohio State 12-0, Penn State 11-1, Oregon 11-1. Oregon would get left out of the Big Ten championship game in that instance. So that means either Ohio State or Penn State's going to lose the Big Ten title game. Obviously, Oregon is still a playoff caliber football team at 11-1, even though not making their conference championship. I think we could all agree there. But do you think they are still worthy of a top 4 seed in that instance?
Well, they're not disqualified, but it would depend, of course, on every other conference.
That's fair. The outcome of the other conferences.
How many 11-1 or 10-2 SEC teams are there? Just pick our Florida State and Miami is one of them 13-0 and one of them 12-1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that'll happen. I'm spitballing here.
You're right.
But that's what makes a lot of these hypotheticals really hard, because without knowing like the record of the top 5 or 6 teams in the SEC and the top 3 or 4 teams in the ACC and what's going on in the Big 12, and is Notre Dame 10-2, or are they 11-1, or are they 8-4? Like, without knowing all of that. But I don't think like Oregon going 11-1 and not making it to the Big 10 championship game, I don't think that in and of itself means, well, there's no way they're getting a top 4 seed.
Right.
Who did you have them losing to in that scenario?
Penn State. We don't play Ohio State in the regular season.
Okay, so let's say they lose a close one, and let's say Penn State wins. Penn State would have to win. And then, so Penn State then would have a 1, and then you're sitting there looking at an Oregon who only has 1 loss, and it's by 3 points on the road to the number 1 seed. Then maybe you say, well, Oregon deserves a 3 or a 4 seed. You know what I mean?
Even if Ohio State's also 11-1 and just lost in the Big Ten championship game to them.
Yeah, let's say Ohio State loses by 14.
Or 12-1 in that instance.
Yeah.
They go undefeated.
Yeah, and Ohio State has a 14-point loss to Oregon in the Big Ten championship game, and Oregon only lost to 3 at Penn State, whereas Ohio State's loss was neutral. I mean, there's a lot of variables. I don't think it's likely that would happen, because the committee showed last year that they were very unwilling to move teams that lost their conference championship game lower. So, I or at least not much lower anyway, but it's possible.
Yeah. Because not that I'm super excited to do a bye week again and wait 26 days or however long it was between games, because I think it wasn't the only factor, but it was a factor in my opinion.
I'm curious how that's going to go this year, because that was a weird anomaly last year. Well, right now it's an anomaly because it's only happened once, but it's only had one opportunity to happen, and it happened. And now we have this year, and then we don't even know what the playoff structure is going to be like next year. It may be totally different.
Right.
We don't know. They haven't announced what the playoff structure is after this season, but that was a weird, because Georgia had the bye and lost, Oregon had the bye and lost, and there was another team.
Arizona State. And every team that had the bye lost.
That's right. All 4 of them. Now, because they're redoing the seeding, that of course is a lot less likely to happen, right? Like, it was surprising, I think, that Oregon and Georgia lost. They were legitimate, deserving of top 4 seeds.
Yes.
It was not surprising that Arizona State and Boise State lost, because of the way the seeding worked. Arizona State and Boise State were ranked. One was 8 or 9 and one was 16 or something. So they got bumped up because of the way the structure was, and that structure has changed now. So you're not going to have that. The top 4 seeds are going to be the teams that the committee thinks are the best 4 teams in the country, whoever those 4 teams are.
Yeah,
so it's
they could all be from the SEC or the Big Ten if they wanted to. It wouldn't matter.
It probably will.
But no, I'm saying they could, if they decided that Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, and Illinois were better than, say, the best SEC team, Georgia, for example, they could put all Big Ten teams in there if they wanted to, or all SEC teams if they wanted to.
Yeah, I don't think that would.
No, I don't. I'm just being hyperbolic.
Conferences no longer have anything to do with who gets the first 4 seeds, is what you're saying.
Correct.
And that's right.
Correct.
Yeah, it's just whoever they rank 1 through 4. Yep.
Yep. So it'll be fun to see, but I just wanted to come on here and address the ass kicking we gave Oklahoma State. I don't know if Wet Blanket's in here or not, but damn, dude, damn,
that was bad.
And then Northwestern, it's going to be probably about the same because their best running back's out, and we're playing in front of 12,000 people. I don't think Oregon's ever played in that small of a stadium before, even though we're playing at 9 a.m. It should be fun. And then obviously come out here and troll Tennessee and their loser mentality, having a loser as a mascot. Davy Crockett is a perpetual loser. Got lost in the Congress, lost in the Alamo, and then wanted to ask that good question. But anyway, I'll get out of here. I know you probably got a jam-packed night. You have a good one, buddy.
All right, David, good to hear from you, buddy. Good luck to Oregon. Good luck to Oregon the rest of the way. All right, what is it? Gage Fisher, thank you for the super chat, but it says you deleted the message, so I'm unable to see it or read it, but thank you. Yep, thank you, and 2. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
How's it going, Lou?
Hey, good, buddy. How are you?
Doing well. Let me give you and the show the setting here. It was a noon game 10 years ago. 10 months, Georgia Tech beat Clemson. I've waited since then to feel they could do that again, and it's the first time I think they can. Since then.
I agree.
I'm
taking Georgia Tech.
It's been a long, long, dark age.
Yeah.
Of just being under the Clemson man and the Tater. I mean, there's been not one season I've been, I think Georgia Tech's going to win this game. I think they can. I didn't get to watch the Lunch Money show last night, but you just said you think Tech, you're going to take Tech?
Yeah, I'm taking
if
Tech.
You bet on it?
Yep, I'm taking Tech.
Sweet. Well,
who's playing quarterback, though?
That is still to be determined.
Yeah. I think it's going to be. I think they're going to go with Haynes King. I think they're going to go with Haynes King. I think that's why they sat him last week, and I think they'll play Haynes King. And this is the biggest game of the year for Georgia Tech. I know you hate Georgia. Believe me, I understand what rivalries mean. But in terms of where Georgia Tech may end up in December, this is their biggest game of the year. And
for sure,
I think they have been looking
too.
at this game since the schedule came out. And they have got, I think they're going to, in poker terms, they're going all in here. This is their opportunity early in the year to knock off the presumed big dog in the ACC. Now, it doesn't quite look that way now with the how well Miami and Florida State are playing, but you don't play either of those, do you?
Nope.
Yeah. This is the toughest game left on your schedule, conference-wise.
Yes.
So if you win this one, you can afford a blunder somewhere. Obviously, you don't want to lose any games. I get that. But if you beat Clemson, you can afford to drop the game to Duke, for example, which I think is going to be a tough game, too, for you. But this is huge for Georgia
lose
Tech.
To Temple.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, you never know where that sort of, how the hell did they lose that game? Like, you know, and that's not just a Georgia Tech thing. That happens to almost every single team every single year. They lose one game that you just don't see coming. And then you have the flip side of that. Can you win a game that people don't see coming? Well, that's this opportunity for Georgia Tech. And when I talk about the Georgia game and discounting whatever, Tech could still win that game too. I'm not saying they can't win that game. What I mean is, if Tech wins, if Tech beats Clemson and gets to the ACC championship game, what happens with Georgia isn't going to determine what happens with Georgia Tech's postseason. Is what I mean. You know, because winning the ACC will get you in, even if you lose to Georgia by 2 touchdowns. It won't technically matter. Georgia was in the same boat last year, by the way. You know, Georgia, win or lose against Tech, they were going to play in Atlanta the next week for the SEC title. It didn't matter. And Tech could be in that situation, too, if they can get this win over Clemson. It would be the biggest win Georgia Tech has had in a long time if they can pull this off. And Clemson has not looked good. They've looked real shaky against bad teams and against good teams. They've looked really shaky.
Yeah, I mean, I like it because, you know, I can feel the win and the vibe here down in Atlanta, but it's at the same time, it's like everyone's saying, man, Tech, they can do it, but I got to see it to believe it, you know?
Yeah. I'm with you there, too. Like, I think Clemson's got a shot to win, too. I don't think Clemson is some dead program that's done rolled over and is just going to let Tech go in there and beat them. Like, Tech's going to have to play one of the best games they've played. They're going to have to avoid turnovers.
They can't turn it over. They did it twice, their first 2 drives against Gardner-Webb last week.
Yeah, can't do that. They've got to stop that. That's 5 turnovers now. They've got to stop that because those are the types of things that will cost you games against good teams where otherwise maybe you could win. So they cannot afford that.
Yeah, it's terrible. I do think we will see some Aaron Philo in that game. Just because watching the Colorado game, Haynes King looks like he's on borrowed time this season. And
he can't throw the ball. And I love watching Haynes King play as much as Georgia Tech fans do. Like, he gives it 110% on every play, and there's something to be said for that. There's also something to be said for the ability of a quarterback to throw the ball, and he doesn't have that. For whatever reason, whether it's previous injury, whatever it is, he cannot throw the ball. I actually was talking to Pete last night. He's a Clemson fan on the Lunch Money show that we do on Mondays, and I brought that up. I said, I wonder if they're not going to play both quarterbacks in this game, because especially what we were talking about is what if for some reason things go wrong and Clemson's up, I don't know, 17-7 at halftime or something. Like, in other words, you find yourself down and you have to throw the ball. Well, then I think you got to put Philo in and give yourself a chance to be two-dimensional.
Mm-hmm. And he can scramble. He can run a little too.
Yeah.
He's not as good a runner as Haynes King by any means, but he's not a statue.
Right.
He can move. So I think we'll see 90% Haynes King, 10% Aaron Philo if it all goes according to plan, but that hardly ever happens.
Yeah.
Especially the way they've been starting the first quarter. I mean, it's God. I mean, they tried to lose at Colorado, and then they tried to lose to Gardner-Webb there in the first quarter.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see. I'm optimistic for the first time in a while about this game. I mean, it's been a long 10 years as a Tech fan since that Orange Bowl season.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But going with Georgia, Tennessee, do you think, because I've started thinking about this, do you think Georgia should start using maybe some of plays out of Tech's playbook they used with Haynes King with Stockton if they don't already do that?
They did a lot of that. This is one of there's a lot of weird things that have gone on with Georgia offensively early in the season, but so the first game they played Marshall, and Gunnar Stockton was the leading rusher. Multiple designed runs, quarterback draw type things. All probably 15 of those zone reads where maybe the quarterback hands it off or maybe he keeps it and goes around the edge. They must have ran that play 15 times, and Gunnar kept it, 6 or 7 of the 15 or whatever, and ended up being the leading rusher. This past weekend against Austin Peay, 0 designed quarterback runs, 0 zone reads. They didn't even run it. Never mind did they run it, but he handed it off or something. Like, they didn't even run that at all. So I don't know if they're just trying different things out. I don't know if they're trying to limit what they put on tape before the Tennessee. I don't know. But to me, there's no reason to play Gunnar Stockton if he's not going to be a part of the running game. 0. There's no reason. Ryan Puglisi throws the ball. You don't have to be an X's and O's guy or some sort of college football genius. You can watch them warm up, and you can go, that guy throws the ball better than that guy. And the guy that throws it better is Ryan Puglisi. It's not close at all. Not that Gunnar can't throw the ball. In fact, I thought he threw the ball well against Notre Dame in his first ever start. I was shocked, actually, at how well he threw the ball. He threw for 250 yards against top 5 defense, no interceptions, 60% completion percentage. Like, I was happy with that part of his game against Notre Dame. We haven't seen any of that this season. 0 downfield passing in a year where Georgia has completely rebuilt their wide receiver room, and they've been ghosts. Colby Young's got, I don't know, 2 or 3 catches. Noah Thomas has 1 or 2 catches, and Zachariah Branch was the star of the game against Marshall 2 weeks ago. This past weekend against Austin Peay, he might as well not have been on the team. So I don't know what I hope they're playing some kind of a game here. And 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been this willing to give Kirby and company the benefit of the doubt offensively. I would have been just like I was all over Jake Fromm and the offense back then. But because of what I've seen Georgia do the last 4 or 5 years, I am waiting one more game because this one matters. So I'm waiting. But if I don't see the things I want to see and think I need to see from Gunnar Stockton particularly and the offense in general this week against Tennessee, and by the way, that doesn't mean we could win the game and I still don't see the things I'd want to see. But if I don't see them this week, I'm probably out on Gunnar Stockton.
No, I would be right there with you if I was a Dog fan, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's time. It's time to let him play quarterback, and that involves throwing the ball. Yeah, why you didn't go out and spend $5 or $6 million on Zachariah Branch and Noah Thomas to show me what I saw against Austin Peay on Saturday. I refuse to believe that. So I need to see something on Saturday. Downfield.
Yeah, I mean this will be their first. This is their first Power Four, so yeah, this will be a big one. And it's be interesting to see because I mean Gunnar Stockton, he played in huge games, SEC championship and the playoff games. So
and played well both times.
He did,
and I don't know where that is the last 2 weeks. You know, sometimes he got thrown into the fire unexpectedly there at the end of the last. It's like if you're asleep in the middle of the night and you wake up and your house is on fire. You're running on pure adrenaline and instinct. You're not thinking, right? You're just where's the kids, where's the dogs, whatever it is. What you know, you're in go mode right away. You're like you're in it. Well, now he's had 8 or 9 months to lay down every night to go to sleep, knowing he's the starting quarterback at the University of Georgia. And sometimes that pressure, sometimes people can't handle that. And I'm not saying that's the case with Gunnar Stockton, because it is possible that the Georgia staff looked at Georgia's schedule and said, we'll hold off till week 3 and then we'll unleash it or whatever. But that better be what's happening, or Georgia's in trouble for this season. Never mind what happens in the Tennessee game. If what I've seen from Georgia offensively the first 2 weeks is all Georgia has offensively, they're an 8-win team maybe. I mean, it hasn't been good. There's no sugarcoating it. So I'm putting my trust in Kirby. I've seen, I'm putting my trust in Kirby because of what he's done the last 4 or 5 years. So we'll see what happens on Saturday.
Yeah, no, I mean it'll be a good game. It'll be a great game. And one last thing, I love the video today about the Florida who could be potential head coaches to replace Billy Napier, because I mean they're gonna have to get rid of him.
Yeah, somebody in the comment section of that video had the wrong. Somebody said, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't have any sources. He doesn't know anybody at the athletic department at Florida. How does he? Buddy, that video was names I've heard Florida fans say they want. It has nothing to do with who I think Florida's athletic department would target in a. I mean, the title of the video was literally names I've heard Florida fans say they want or whatever. And the guy's like, this guy thinks he's got sources.
Stop mistreating Uncle Lou, guys. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Stop
People are
mistreating
dumb.
this man.
Yeah.
But,
all right, buddy. Hey, good luck this weekend, man. I hate Georgia Tech 1 week a year, but they're a fun team to watch, and good luck against Clemson. I mean, I hate Georgia Tech as a Georgia fan because I have to, but I mean, it's Georgia Tech. I mean, come on. They beat Georgia twice this century. I got no hate for them. It wouldn't hurt my feelings to see them have a good year every once in a while. Isaiah Thomas, thank you for the super chat. He says, I have to send a super chat for Luigi Grin. You're smoking crack, I see. And Biggs Mike, you're also smoking. Biggs Mike and Luigi Grin. This is a crack-free comment section. Isaiah Thomas is right. Please put down the crack pipes. Thank you, Isaiah. Austin says, good morning, Lou. Florida football feels dead under Napier. No momentum, weak results, and fans losing faith in the program's direction. Anyways, go Gators. I cannot believe that Billy Napier is still calling his own plays. I can't believe that. That should have ended. That should have ended. It shouldn't have taken a loss to South. Like, that should have been, athletic departments have been known to force coaches to give up, head coaches to give up play calling duties. It happened to Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M. I am shocked that Napier, after putting some of the worst offenses in the SEC on the field 3 years in a row, was still the play caller this year. It was just, that's mine by people. But these coaches are hard-headed and stubborn, and they think they're the smartest guy in the room, because most times they are. I mean, we clown different coaches, but they don't get these jobs because they don't know, what they're doing. But Billy Napier does not need to be calling his own plays. That should have ended. Yeah. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Well, Uncle Lou.
What's up, buddy?
Last time we spoke, I think me and Octavian was in a little battle head to head.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he told me about how they were going to be LSU, Texas, UGA, Florida State, everybody on their schedule, right?
Yep. He still thinks
And
they're
I
beating
sat
all
there.
those teams.
Yeah, I sat there and told him, though, they better watch out for USF. And he said, USF who? And we're sitting right here. And then I told him in about 4 weeks, he's going to be back on the show screaming, fire Billy Napier like every year.
Yep.
And guess what? In record time, it happened. Was I dreaming that?
No, Florida lost.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure. But we got another 5-star dummy in the back room waiting on you. He said USF's going to whoop Miami and that USF could beat Georgia. Well, how you feel about that?
Who could beat Georgia?
USF, South Florida.
No, there's not a group of 5 team in the country that could beat Georgia.
He'll be coming up. His name's Trey, so I'll let you hold him to that when he gets on.
South Florida's
so
about to lose by about 3 or 4 touchdowns this weekend.
Yeah, I think they're gonna lose by double digits. I really do. I still want to know your opinion on FSU's quarterback, Tommy. Do you still think he's a bad quarterback? He can't throw, or what do you think about him?
I don't think he's a great quarterback, no.
You don't think he's a good quarterback at all?
He can run around some. He's okay. I don't think he's great, no.
Would you take him over Georgia's quarterback?
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
So
I don't think I would never take a quarterback that got benched at Boston College ever. I don't think.
But what if they weren't running a system for him?
Yeah, I don't think I would take. I don't think I would take him. No.
All right. Well, I think he's going to change your mind on that during the season. I think Georgia's quarterback is going to change your mind. You were high on him before the season as well. And
Was
you were
I?
low on Tommy's.
Was
I?
I?
I mean,
I was?
you said he was better than Tommy for sure.
Well, I still think he's better than Tommy Castellanos. Yeah.
Well, they're the same type of quarterback, and what we've seen, I think that Tommy's more in the Heisman conversation than he is.
All right. I'm done with this guy. There's nothing good enough you can say about Florida State to make that dumbass happy, unless you tell him that every player on Florida State is winning a Nobel Peace Prize and Florida State's the greatest team ever. He's constantly fishing for more and more compliments. That guy's parents must have hated him as a kid or something, and so he's trying to make up for it by calling random YouTube shows and asking people to pat Florida State on the head. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. He does that. He's called in every show for since Alabama beat Bama. Never heard from him before then, but now Alabama beats Bama, and now the guy calls in every week and he wants me to tell him how great Florida State is. I'm just getting old. Anyway, what's going on?
I'm here to eat the crow, man.
Oh yeah, y'all got humiliated by Oklahoma, and Bryce Underwear didn't know what he was doing.
Terrible. I mean, like 24-13 doesn't tell the story. It was domination.
Yes,
from
it
Oklahoma.
was. And I'm gonna tell you something else too. Y'all better figure out what Justice Haynes is mad about and solve that problem, because he's the best player on your offense by a country fucking mile. And I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to pretend to know, but he's arguing with people on the sideline. It looked like Bryce Underwear tried to have him killed in that game, throwing that hitch pass to him. And Oklahoma nearly cut him in half. And he got up and he wasn't happy. Y'all better figure out what's going on with that, because he's all y'all have right now.
I agree. He's the only player on the offense that has shown to be like able to do anything consistently.
What do we know what he was arguing about on the sideline with Bryce Underwear?
I don't know. I think that play that was after the 3rd and 2 in the red zone, where it was like the miscommunication on the RPO, where McCulley was blocking the corner. I'm not sure. I don't know. That's when it happened. I'm not sure what they were arguing about, though. I think it happened after that play, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing, let me mention this because somebody in the chat might know, and they can call in and tell me. There was another situation in the Alabama game. Now, I didn't watch the Alabama game because they were playing a high school team, but there's a clip going around of an Alabama player that I'm assuming is injured because it looked like he didn't have shoulder pads on. It looked like he just had a jersey on and he didn't have his helmet on. But he walks up to Kalen DeBoer during the game. Kalen DeBoer standing on the sideline with his headset on, and he walks up to Kalen DeBoer and starts yelling, and I don't know what the fuck he's saying or whatever. So if there's an Alabama fan, tell me what that's about too. I'd be interested in hearing that.
I mean, we saw that last year with Malachi Moore, man. That's not anything new.
Right, yeah. So I don't know what the deal was with it. I don't even know who the player was or whatever. But if an Alabama fan knows anything about that, I'd love to know what the story is on that.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I'd like to come on here and shit on the Bama man or shit on the Florida man, I mean, I got to come on here and shit on my own team, right? I mean, we just got fucking embarrassed. The offensive line looked fucking bad. The receivers looked bad. Underwood looked bad, although I think he has more of an excuse than some of the other guys.
Yeah, I'm not throwing Bryce Underwear away like he's never going to be any good. But he didn't look any amount of good Saturday. Like sometimes you watch a game and you go, yeah, made a couple of freshman mistakes, but you can see the potential there. And he did nothing. Zero. He was horrible.
He played real bad. Yep. And it wasn't just to defend him a bit. Obviously, it's not just the true freshman thing on the road against a really good defense and a great defensive mind. Every time he got a passing play, it was play action, and he had a D lineman in his face because the offensive line was just that bad.
That's true too.
Like there were a few there was a few throws he made that made me feel good, but there was also throws where he was rolling out and he should have been able to throw it. There was an over the top to the tight end he overthrew. Again, there was a miscommunication with McCulley on an RPO that probably would have been a touchdown. Not the 3rd and 2 one, but a different one. There was one where he missed an open tight end on a wheel that would have been a touchdown. He had 2 guys in his face. But, yeah, I'm not here to say he played well. He didn't, obviously, 100%. Now, I'm not giving up on him either. Don't get me wrong, but, yeah, he played like shit. And the whole team played like shit. It was really just a mismatch, like game plan wise. I mean, it was bad. One thing I do want to say is you've been doing this for a long time. You're like a really high level seasoned troll, right? You're not like these low level trolls in the comments. So when you troll, I have high expectations. And you compared him to Jalen Milroe, right? On the your season is over.
Yeah, that's trolling.
You gotta do better though. You can't make it that obvious.
Okay.
Yeah, because Jalen Milroe, as a redshirt junior last year at Oklahoma, had the same passing numbers as Bryce, but with 3 picks. That's how trash Jalen Milroe is. I mean, a true freshman Milroe making his first start in that game would have threw 6 picks and had 2 fumbles. I mean, he's trash.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm not here to shit on Bama. We sucked. They got a lot of work to do. I'm hoping they can get better before Nebraska. It's only 2 weeks. I guess we'll see. But yeah, man, Michigan, man, I'm down bad. They got a lot of fucking work to do, man. There's no defending it. They look like shit.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Luke.
All right, buddy. Good luck going forward, man. I had Michigan losing that game and still going 9-3 or 10-2 maybe this year. I tell you, Underwood's gonna have to get better, and they got receiver. They don't really have. I don't know. Their receivers don't seem. I don't know. What I was just writing down there because Michigan got me thinking about it is I think I'm going to make a video tomorrow called, okay, a couple of weeks into the season, here's some teams that I think are better than what I thought they would be, like when I did my preseason predictions, and here's some teams that I think maybe aren't as good as I thought they would be. And Michigan might be one of those teams that's not going to be as good. I had Michigan making the playoffs. And right now, what I've seen from them, and it's not just Underwood. Underwood, I would expect to get a little better every week because he's, everything he sees right now is the first time he's ever seen it. Coverages, blitzes, you name it. But he mentioned the offensive line. It doesn't look as good as what they've had in the past. And I don't. They don't have a wide receiver. I don't think that really worries anybody. I still like their defense, you know, and their defense will probably keep them in most games they play. But that offense right now is concerning. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday.
Hey, buddy. What's up?
Not much. I feel like Georgia's in a must-win game situation here with a gauntlet kind of coming up after Tennessee. You got Alabama at home. Thank gosh we get them at home. Then you got to go to Jordan-Hare. So, I mean, if we lose this game, do you think we're kind of in the back seat looking up, trying to maybe having to win, play catch-up in the rest of the season?
Maybe. I mean, I picked in my preseason predictions, I had Georgia beating Tennessee and losing to Bama.
In Auburn.
They need to win 1 out of 2 against Bama and Tennessee. Which one it is really in the end, it's irrelevant which one of those 2 it is. I'd love for them to win both. The loss to Auburn was a stretch when I made that prediction. It's still a stretch. Like they'll be, of those 3 games, Auburn is the one they're most likely to win, and I've got them losing that one. Ole Miss, I don't think is as good. I'm not worried about Ole Miss at home.
Well, Austin Simmons had two interceptions on his 2 opening drives, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think
so. He also had 2 interceptions in his first game, so he seems to be more of a turnover machine. But I mean, with how much Ole Miss has lost of Jackson Dart, that defensive line, that's the best they probably had in the last 10 years.
That's what's going to hurt them. Yeah, that's what's going to hurt them is the lines of scrimmage. Mississippi State looks like a more difficult game right now for Georgia on the road than Ole Miss does at home.
Well, we don't know if Arizona State was maybe just had one season wonder last year, or maybe they're just not as good. Maybe just Cam Scatterby was just that whole offense.
Yeah, but even so, forget who they were playing. Just watching them play, they look like a good team to me. That didn't look like a fluky type of thing. Like they looked like a legitimately good team to me.
Weren't they up 17-0 at one point?
Yeah, they were up 17-0. Now they went to sleep after that, which is bad. But they ended up winning in the end, which is all that matters. On the other hand, they played Arizona State pretty close last year and then couldn't win an SEC game. So I don't really know what to make of that. But point is, the front half of Georgia's schedule looks more difficult to me than the back half. You've of course got Texas in the back half of the schedule, which is a huge game, but you get them at home. The Alabama game is more winnable to me now than it was when I did my preseason predictions. I had Alabama at 11-1, one of the best teams in the country to go out and lose to Florida State.
I'm not overlooking Bama. They've always come up the show.
Yeah, I'm not either. But here's the problem. If they lose to Tennessee, then the pressure starts to mount because not that you're overlooking regular season games, but a team like Georgia, the goals are the playoffs, right? Well, every game you lose makes it harder to make the playoffs. So if you lose your first tough game of the season on the road at Tennessee, then the pressure to beat Alabama is twofold. Number one, you can't beat Bama to save your life. I mean, Kirby's 1-6 or 1-7 now, whatever it is against Bama.
It's been so fucking frustrating.
Yeah, it seems like no matter what, you just can't beat them. So if you lose to Tennessee and then your next game is Bama, there's already a lot of pressure to beat Bama because it's just a big game. Plus, it's Kirby's first time playing them at home, so there's already a lot of pressure there to win that game. If you already have a loss when you play that game, the pressure is even more. Now, if you lose to Tennessee and Bama, then every game you play after that is a playoff game. And I don't think, as much as I love Kirby, I don't think Georgia can win 8 or 9 playoff games in a row, which is what it would amount to. You'd have to beat Auburn. You'd have to beat Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Texas, Florida, Georgia Tech. You'd have to run the table just to get to the playoffs. And I don't think that would happen if they lose 3 games in a row by the middle of October.
Listen, I've been patient with Mike Bobo. I think, he was good under Rick for a little bit. He was scoring 40 points when we had Gurley, Marshall, running all over the place. But, I mean, if we see more of these vanilla offensive plays I mean, he's got to fucking go. But
yeah, well, some of
that's
this is
not going to
Gunnar
happen
Stockton's fault.
with Kirby and him,
Now,
Bubbo.
We got to point some fingers. Some of this is Gunnar Stockton's fault. There's no play called snap the ball and throw it right away behind the line of scrimmage to number 5. Like, there's no play called that. When Gunnar Stockton walks up to the line of scrimmage and looks at the defense, the coverage in the front dictates a lot of times what he does. And Gunnar is making the decision too many times to throw that check pass out wide.
Well, this is where I miss Carson Beck able to read a defense and look at his first read and not be able to panic, and he can go to a second or third and then take off. I mean, you look at Gunnar these first 2 games. He looks at his first read and then he just kind of, I guess he's just kind of that quarterback that just kind of takes off, knowing how he is because of his play style. But I mean, you look at some of those plays versus Austin Peay. There was a tight end wide open down the field. Yeah. You had a player wide open down the field. He's got to hit those. But I'm also just, not trying to overreact. But I'm also thinking, oh, maybe we're just trying to hold him back, not trying to release and not put him in harm's way. Because I kind of figured that we were going to do that versus these 2 scrub teams, thinking we're not going to let Gunnar just throw the fuel into the fire like we did last season. I mean, he should be able to read a defense. He played good versus Notre Dame. So I know he's capable of making these plays when we need him to.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm just hoping, that, like you said earlier, that we'll leash him and then, we get these transfer wide receivers. 2 of their top corners are out. I think you already know that.
Yeah, their top 2
there's
corners
a report
are
there.
out.
Yeah, 2 top corners are out. So this is where the time for Colby Young and Noah Thomas, those big outside receivers, to come in and make plays. And so is Branch, and starting to make the plays too.
I made that point earlier. I don't know if you were listening. Somebody else called in about the Georgia offense too, and I said the same thing. I said I refuse to believe 2 weeks into the season against an FCS team and a Group of 5 team that the offense we've seen so far is going to be the offense we see going forward, because I don't think Kirby and company went out and spent $6 million to bring in Noah Thomas and Colby Young to throw hitch passes to them all season long. No. So I'm giving Kirby and company the benefit of the doubt, but I need to see more from the offense this week, or my attitude towards things is going to change drastically.
Well, also another thing, I think that, I don't know, maybe Michigan's just bad, but Oklahoma could be a legit team in the SEC this year. Looks like their receivers are healthy, and they finally have elite. I mean, they've had good quarterbacks going back to Lincoln Riley, but I mean, John Mateer, the way his energy is, he kind of reminds you a little bit of that Baker Mayfield, but Kirk Herbstreit said that too. But
I think he
was making throws. I mean, he was making run. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, so he can definitely ball.
Every SEC team they play is ranked. Every one of them. I think I read that yesterday. They have a brutal schedule. Hey, thank you for the call. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Good morning, Lou. Since when are you scared of Mississippi State?
I'm not scared of Mississippi State, but after watching this past weekend's games, because I watched both the Mississippi State-Arizona State game and the Ole Miss-Kentucky game, and I think anybody that watched both of those games would come away saying the same thing, which is, at least this past weekend, Mississippi State, to me, looked like a better team than Ole Miss.
We made a step in the right direction. By the way, Evans looks good, but he still has the UGA flu. He dropped a pass wide open.
Yeah, some people might not know what you're talking about. So Rashad Evans, I think is his name, a wide receiver that's been at Georgia the last couple of years, rotting away on the bench. Now plays for Mississippi State and is a 100-yard-a-game receiver now. Like clockwork.
He will have 1,200 yards.
Yeah,
if Shapen stays healthy.
Yeah,
we lost our 2 best player on the lines.
Oh, that's not good.
On that goal line stand. 50 seconds before the game ended, we lost Will Whitson. He jumped direct in the pole and stopped this goal line stand and stopped the run. And he has a knee injury. And the other was Blake Steen. He came out at halftime, and he has a hamstring, but a real bad hamstring. Levy said it today in the press conference, but not looking good. But so far, our season is okay. Why I come on here, Lou? Should we stop to make pre-polls week 0, week 1? I mean, I give you two examples. Texas didn't win in the regular season, didn't beat a ranked team in regular season since September 9th, 2023. The Alabama Crimson Tide. They didn't win a single game against a ranked team in the regular season in 2 years and 1 day. And they ranked him 1. This is nuts. They ranked Boise without the best player, the best running back in all of college, without any question. Top 20. And they ranked Florida with a deadbeat who throws turnovers left and right, had his first practice in June 12th. This has to stop. Arizona.
But what does any of that matter? I didn't rank Florida.
No, of course not. No. So my question
the
was,
AP poll doesn't affect anything. It's 100 people's opinions averaged out into a ranking. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't affect anything. It doesn't.
It's absolute nonsense.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, that's easy to say in week 3, but like, did you do a preseason top 25 that you can show me? Where did you have Florida State ranked in your preseason top 25?
Nowhere.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're guesses. Of course, there are some that end up being wrong. But the AP poll doesn't affect anything. It doesn't have any impact on anything. It's a talking point. Like, that's all it is. It doesn't mean anything.
I mean, I would prefer we start ranking these teams week 5 or something like that.
Right. But, people say that all the time. But do you want Congress to pass a law making it illegal for someone to put out a top 25 college football ranking in August? Like, what do you mean when you walk me through it? Let's say the NCAA comes out tomorrow, or let's say the AP comes out tomorrow and says, we're not releasing a ranking anymore till week 5.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to stop ESPN from putting a ranking out, me from putting a ranking out, Yahoo from putting a ranking out, a million other YouTubers and people on Twitter putting a ranking out. What will the effect be of the AP not releasing a ranking until week 5? Nothing.
No.
The same effect the AP has on them releasing a preseason ranking. Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, how much more accurate? The poll will be more accurate in week 5 than it is now. It'll be more accurate in week 7 than it is in week 5. Yeah. The further you get into the season, the more accurate anybody's rankings are going to be. But I don't really understand people's infatuation with being mad about the AP ranking because it doesn't affect anything.
I find it's useless. I mean, you can rank Georgia at 25. You can Georgia rank 2 if they go 12.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
They are in.
All that matters is the playoff ranking.
The last 4 in December. That's all.
The playoff ranking is all that matters. That's it. Nothing else matters.
So, and the last note. I mean, does the Michigan man even know what down bad means? I'm a Mississippi State fan. I mean, wow. And to the Oregon man, to say Tennessee won nothing in this century, what did Oregon win in the last 150 years? They went to the national championship in 2010 and 2014, and that's it. For the past 150 or 120 years, however they play in Eugene. I mean, weird. Lou, I go to bed. I wish you a nice week and see you on the Patreon stream.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Sven. Good to hear from you. Sven staying up late over in Germany to call in tonight. Good to hear from our resident Mississippi State man. Oh, boy. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Uncle Lou, how you doing tonight?
Huffer Billy Slaw. What's up, buddy? I see you toting on a stogie there.
Of course I am.
There you
Of
go.
course I am.
All right.
No, the ifs and buts or candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. And this is where Oregon man goes wrong. He thinks that Penn State's going to only lose one game. He doesn't have anything to worry about on that front. I don't think he has to worry about Penn State. I mean, we know what they do. They crash at the wrongest time, so I wouldn't worry about them. But I was really calling about the Georgia Tech Clemson game because everybody has me on record as being so down on Clemson, and I do think Georgia Tech's a good team. I have a lot of respect for Brent Key and the way he's using his talent to the maximum. So they're dangerous. They could win. I'm pretty. I think that's kind of like what you were saying about your guys, right? Gunner, in the same vein with Cade, needs to be let loose and let him react. Just let him play. Don't overthink the game. Let them do what they're supposed to do. And if Clemson does that, they'll beat Georgia Tech soundly. But here's the but part: ifs and buts. If Tech plays two quarterbacks and gets Clemson off balance, it's going to be a long day, and Tech likely pulls out a win. That's the real difference here. I don't think that Clemson's thinking, well, I hope they are, but I don't think they are because apparently they don't think a lot, obviously, in the last game and certainly didn't think in the LSU game. They have blind spots, and I think if Georgia Tech plays two quarterbacks, we're going to be in deep trouble. And so I'm hoping we win, but I don't know. With the real Clemson, please stand up.
Yeah, I do want to ask you one thing here. Now, at the beginning of this conversation, you referred to Georgia Tech as a good team.
Yep.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing. However, you are on the record over the last 7 days or so as referring to LSU as not a good team.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think they are.
Think Georgia Tech
I think they're a good team. I don't think they're an elite team.
Okay, because you've been running around everywhere saying
they're not
LSU
as good
not
as people are making them out to be.
Are they as good as Georgia Tech?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
They are as good as Georgia Tech.
Okay.
They're not as good as Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Is Georgia as good as Tennessee?
Yes. I think Georgia is going to show that this weekend. I expect them to. If they don't, you're right. Then you punt Gunner to the curb, everything needs to be questioned.
Yeah.
But I don't think Georgia's going to be. I think they're going to be the top two in the SEC. I do. I think Arch Manning's a bust, and so Texas is going to fall off. And I think Ole Miss is tough. They just got enough coaching prowess there, but I think Georgia's it. I think they're the class of the SEC. But
you sound
South
like
Carolina's
a pretty smart
close.
individual.
They're closing in.
You sound like, what do you think of, okay, so South Carolina and Vandy, no one's talked about that game tonight. You're a Clemson man, so you've sworn to hate South Carolina. I get that. But Lenore Sellers versus Diego Poverty, whatever you think about these two teams.
I'm South Carolina
exciting.
All the way.
Okay, you think South Carolina wins that one. Yeah, that could be a tough place to play. I'm leaning South Carolina in that one, too. I haven't made a prediction on that yet, I don't think, but I'm leaning South
Lenore's
Carolina
good.
At home at night against Vandy, yeah.
Lenore's good, and it's going to be hell to stop him. And that he's a player. He's a winner, and so he's that kind of quarterback that'll make your team better than they are. And that's why they're going to win that game. But I like Vandy too, but I don't think they're anywhere close to that talent. That's the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, I feel like I've been down on Clemson a little bit. I think Clemson has a really good shot if they unloose the hounds, but they've got to let it go and they got to quit overthinking the game and play play with instinct.
Yeah.
And that's key. But we'll see if they do it. I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to get in here because I felt like Oregon man was worrying about Penn State, and that was ridiculous. You don't have to worry about Penn State.
Okay. All right, Slaw. Good luck this week. You're going to the game, aren't you?
Yeah, we'll be there. I'm going down Friday night or Friday late afternoon to meet the pickleball players down at the Painted Pickle.
Oh God, are you going to play pickleball?
I don't, but I'm going to watch them. Okay. I'm going to go down there and just enjoy the spectacle.
Hey, do me a favor, please.
Yep.
Please send me a picture or a short video of Pigskin Pete playing pickleball, please.
Oh yeah.
Please do that.
Guarantee it.
Okay, thank you.
We'll do.
All right, Slaw.
All right.
Talk to you later. There you go. I need pictures and video of Pigskin Pete playing pickleball this weekend. I really need that. Hey, shout out to the Sleeper app. They've been kind enough to sponsor some of what we're doing here on the channel during this football season. Download the Sleeper app today if you haven't already. It's a great way to add some excitement to your college football weekends. They're the #1 daily fantasy sports app on the market. They got a great promotion going right now. If you use promo code LOU, L-O-U, they're going to match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. So if you deposit $100, they will give you $100, courtesy of Uncle Lou. It makes watching these games a lot of fun, and I want y'all to help me. Well, I'm going to put. Well, I don't need your help. I don't need your help actually. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is here. I told you I'm giving Kirby and company the benefit of the doubt. Gunnar Stockton, more or less than 205.5 passing yards. You see it right here on the screen. I'm going to take more. I'm going to say they let him loose. They actually let Noah Thomas and Colby Young run downfield and catch passes instead of catching them all behind the lines of scrimmage. I'm going to buy in for one more week, but I better see it. Now, I need 2 more picks to add to this play for Saturday's games. I'll make another pick involving a different game on Thursday, and then we'll finish it off with a 3rd pick Saturday morning on the kickoff show. But I'm going to take Gunnar Stockton more than 205.5 passing yards. Joey Aguilar, if you're wondering, more or less than 1.5 touchdowns. What are his other numbers here? More or less than 198.5 passing yards. So Gunnar Stockton, at least according to the Sleeper app, expected to outperform Joey Aguilar in the passing department on Saturday. Gunnar Stockton's total sits at 205. Joey Aguilar's total sits at 198.5. If you believe in trends, more or less than 1.5 passing touchdowns for Joey Aguilar against Georgia on Saturday. Tennessee has not thrown a passing touchdown against Georgia since 2021. They did not throw one in 2022, 2023, or 2024. So that's Nico, Hendon Hooker, and Joe Milton. No touchdown passes. Will Joey Swagular break the streak? I don't know. I'm staying away from that one. But I am taking more than 205.5 passing yards for my boy, Gunnar Stockton. Don't let me down. All right, download the Sleeper app. Use promo code LOU. You'll be glad you did. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Uncle Lou. How you doing today?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
I'm all right, man. It's good to be back. Before we get started to Florida and Georgia and USF stuff, I want to say the Seminole God, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay, my man. You got dropped on your head by your mom and daddy, and they dumped you in a dumpster as a dumpster baby. And don't you worry, Florida State got something for you. When you lose to Virginia and Wake Forest that plays a cosplay of a college team, you'll be back here and you'll be crying. Thank you. I'll tell you what, y'all Seminoles are crazy. Man, you like the Uncle Lou? I can see you laughing over there.
You call that man a dumpster baby.
Look, goddamn, isn't all Florida State fans dumpster babies? Goddamn. Come on, Lou.
I didn't say that now. That's it.
I live an hour and a half from Tallahassee, and they all seem that way.
Dang.
They all seem that way, Lou. But seriously, I like you, Lou, and we're not agree eye to eye all the time. But I want to know what's before we get into South Florida and Florida. I want to know what's going on with Georgia, man. What in the world? You couldn't get in the goal line, 4 or 5 times versus Austin Peay, and we talked about it last week. What happened, man?
That was bad. I mean, there's no excuse for that. You can talk about hiding the playbook and all this kind of crap all you want when it comes to the passing game, but against anybody, if you get that many plays inside the 5-yard line and you can't score, that is a huge red flag and extremely concerning. I don't have any way of sugarcoating that, nor would I try. That was absolutely embarrassing and piss poor on the part of Georgia not to punch that ball in down there against Austin Peay inside the 5. That was really, really bad.
I want to go on the record before we talk about Florida and South Florida. I want to go on the record. Vandy. Vandy is better than you think they are. Diego Pavia, this Emmanuel guy talking in the back. Diego Pavia, he's right. He's on a mission, man. The guy's a baller. Diego Pavia is like a man on a mission, and I think South Carolina and LaSellers is going to be a down. If you can write that down, write it down, because I want to stay on the record and be reminded when it gets in the end of the year. Because Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt could be a factor later in the year now.
All right.
And also Tennessee. I think Tennessee will also, even though I hate them, they're going to be better than you think they are. And it starts with Georgia. It better start with Georgia. I'm not taking them seriously. But with the Florida and South Florida thing, I ain't going to lie. I come up here sometimes and troll you and all that, but I ain't going to lie about this. South Florida beat our ass.
Yeah.
They stomped us. They spit on us, even though we spit on them. They did everything. They did everything they did to us in the swamp. And this is basically the worst in the shoe toss. But why are you downplaying? I'm not going to try to troll you, but why are you downplaying South Florida, Lou? Come on.
Downplaying them. I've got them ranked. I've got them ranked to the top 15.
Okay. You got them in the top 15, right?
Yeah.
I did not see that poll video. I didn't get a notification on that. So you ranked them 15?
I think I have them 15. Yeah.
I mean, they deserve it. They deserve it, Lou. They almost beat Alabama twice the last 2 years.
Well, that doesn't have anything to do with this year. First of all, this whole bragging about losses thing, you can miss me with that. I don't give a fuck how many teams they almost beat 2 years ago. That doesn't have anything to do with it. The South Florida deserves to be ranked because they beat this year Boise State at home and Florida on the road. That's why they deserve to be ranked. Not because they lost to Alabama 2 years ago. That's got nothing to do with it.
I totally agree with that, Lou.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm just saying the coach, the progression.
Yeah. Well, if you want to use the games against Alabama to talk about goalless, that's fine. But not as any sort of proof that they should be ranked. They should be ranked for what they've done this year. Yeah.
I'm just saying it deserved to be in this because the hard work they've been doing the last 2 years almost beat Alabama, but it's different this year. And you see the progression, and they finally did it. And we're not as good as Alabama, but they beat us. I'm not going to say that. Billy Napier needs help.
Oh, yeah.
Now, listen, he can come up here and say he's 7. We go 7-5 again. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know. We got a tougher schedule than last year. But he stayed because 7-5. He does 7-5 again. It's basically another Ron Zook. Even Ron Zook is better than that guy. And he's just a bum. He's a bum. This man, I'll tell you what, these Gators, I love my Gators. But, man, we got to come up with some sense here. I might be joking and trolling out here with Lou all the time. But, my God, we got a bum as a coach. He's a bum. He comes up here.
Yeah, I've been telling you that for a while.
And you did. And actually, hold on, Lou. Let's take the record, Lou. I never liked Billy Napier. I like the players we have. What is that? What's that? And you had it with Mark Rick, and you had some good players in Georgia.
Don't ever compare Billy Napier to Mark Rick, buddy. Stop it right now.
Okay. But hold on now.
Mark Rick's average season is better than any season Billy Napier has ever had. He averaged 10 wins a year for 15 years. Don't ever compare Billy Napier to Mark Rick.
Well, his play calling
That's crazy.
At the end of his career of Georgia, his play calling with the best players went the best. That's what I'm trying to say with Billy Napier. We have some good, okay players. They're not be better than Georgia at that time back then, but his play calling is making it worse.
We haven't had a coach as bad as Billy Napier since like the 40s or 50s.
Yeah,
so
but the scheme.
Don't ever do that again.
We have. Okay. I'm sorry. That was not good. I apologize. And Mark Rick is a good guy. I like Mark Rick. I was actually a Georgia fan before I came into a Florida fan, Lou. It's my uncle's fault. But anyway, damn, you can have okay
Let me see
players.
if I understand this. When
Yes.
Georgia was dog shit, you were a Georgia fan, and now
No,
that
I
Florida's dog shit, you're a Florida fan.
No.
What
no,
are you
no,
doing?
hold on.
That's the
Hold on,
opposite
hold
of
on.
what most
Lou.
people do. Most people jump to a team when they're good. You jump to a team when they're not good. What are you doing?
Lou, this is a long time ago. This was like probably 2003, 2004. I'm 29 now, so I was probably 7. And I went to my uncle's house, and my dad got me a Georgia Bulldog, flag. And I went to my uncle's house on the reservation, and he laughed at me, and he said, "We're gonna be Florida fans now." And I came back home. I said, "You can take that shit down." So 03, 04 was good Georgia years, Lou. I left Georgia for a good Florida team, Lou. Come on, Lou. Come on. Urban Meyers, baby. I'm all about Florida, but
All right, man. I appreciate you calling in and eating your crow. Good luck against LSU this weekend. You're going to need it. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Uncle Lou.
Hey, buddy.
Appreciate everything you do. Also,
thank you.
I got to say, first off the bat, thanks for reaching out to Matt Be Great and backing him up in that tweet. He shouted out to you in an appreciation. You and him are my favorite 2 guys on YouTube that aren't big name companies backed by millions of dollars and are polished.
I appreciate that.
So, yeah, just to reach out on that. Also, thank you for having all the Florida fans on and allowing them to talk. So that way, as they start to talk, we just know that they're usually from crack babies that have delusions of grandeur.
There's been a lot of crack. There's been a lot of crack references and like.
Oh my gosh,
dumpster baby.
Well, you let him talk into the rest of America that doesn't have a crack epidemic. You're like, that's what it sounds. That's what it must be. There's nothing else. It's either that or he's taking all the dust off his trophies, putting them into a line and railing them, thinking that's going to get him a good season. Because I just don't understand Florida fans here. I mean, and also as a Duck fan, I have to say, best all football, leave Uncle Phil's name out your goddamn mouth or incur the wrath of the damnable. He might sacrifice you at Austin Stadium. It's a possibility.
Yeah.
On that one, I have to say, you said you were going to do a short on teams that got better, teams that got worse. Could we do a whole section on teams that are the exact same as last year? Teams that didn't get better, they didn't get worse, they are static.
Who are we thinking about here? Who are we thinking about here?
Well, first off, you could throw Iowa into that mix.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Iowa's the same half
USC
melted bowl of
is the same
vanilla
as
ice
that,
cream.
in my opinion.
You think Southern Cal's the same?
USC has no offensive line. What they do have is barely one deep. By week 5 of the season, you just know you're going to be able to send 7 over the line, and the quarterback's going to be like, oh, well, it's up in the air. Who gets it? Who gets it?
All right.
So I have to say there's more than a few teams that are this season no different than they were last year. There are a few teams that definitely got better. One of those I threw on that list that I'm kind of on body of work interested to see is Minnesota. They seem to look impressive for what they have on body of work. Another one that I'm kind of still curious to see left over on body of work is Notre Dame with Texas A&M this week. Got any opinions on that one?
Yeah, that's
Notre
an
Dame walk away
interesting
with
one.
it?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So we talked about the Notre Dame Miami game for 8 months because it was a week 1 game. Then we all watched the game. It was a great game. Miami wins. And then Notre Dame gets a bye week. And you know how it is. It's out of sight, out of mind. So it's like no one really has even talked. There's been nothing to talk about really with Notre Dame for the last couple of weeks because they had such an early odd bye week there in week 2. And now they host Texas A&M, and it becomes almost a must-win game for Notre Dame because they don't have a guaranteed path to the playoff through a potential conference championship. Their only shot is an at-large. Well, if you start your season off with a loss to Miami and a loss to Texas A&M, it's hard to make up that ground. So it's odd to say in today's college football where you have a 12-team playoff, it's odd to say that any week 2 or week 3, in this case, second game of the year, though, for Notre Dame would be a must-win game. But I think this is a must-win game for Notre Dame, and I'm not certain they could win it. I didn't see a lot out of Carr in that game at Miami. Now, like any first-year starter, I would assume he gets a little bit better week to week. But we'll see. This is going to be a tough one for Notre Dame. Texas A&M's not an easy out. They're very well coached. I'm a big Mike Elko fan. I think he knows what he's doing. And this is a tricky spot here for Notre Dame with their backs against the wall. They need to find a way to win this game.
this is also an interesting kind of gauge for if Miami is real, because if Notre Dame goes in and wins ugly, does that make Miami's win look better, or does that make Miami's win look less?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I'm still not 100% sold on Miami. Notre Dame shot their foot off in the first half.
Yeah. Well, Miami
And-
plays South Florida this week, so they'll have a chance
Yeah.
to prove it on their own, sort of, aside from the Notre Dame game.
And that's one of the questions I have. Miami last year, are they the exact same as they were last year? That team can throw the ball. They have some really excellent playmakers on the outside edge. They couldn't tackle in space to save their life last year.
Yeah.
Not even just counting the fact that they were out of position. Their defensive scheme was completely wrong half the time. Not counting Mario Cristobal's bizarro pay calls in the middle of a game, which he always does. Which is also my question on Miami. If that would have had you erase the first quarter of that Miami Notre Dame game and give me one more quarter of Notre Dame driving back in the second half, I think Notre Dame comes back and pulls the upset. Because once again, somewhere 5 minutes into the second or third quarter, you get these just completely the same RPO left side, right RPO right side, read zone option pitch, read zone option short pass. You just short up on the line and it's read by every team. It's the same thing Mario did when he was at Oregon. It's those, I saw him do it last year too. And that's kind of my question. Teams that are the exact same, I think kind of Miami's defense still might be the exact same as they were last year. Also, you could make a whole section of teams that are like, I miss you. I really, really miss you from last year. Cam Scatterby was one. He averaged almost 6 yards a carry last year. Arizona was in desperate need of that one. Tyler Warren up there in Penn State. Where is that 60%, 64% offense for Penn State? They've been missing it for the first two games this season. Are they going to be able to find it? Because he was 2/3 of your entire offensive scheme for top five teams. That's all I got for you, Lou. Take care, bud.
All right, buddy.
Have a good
Thank you.
night.
Yeah, thank you for the call. It's good to hear from you. Jacob Giles, thank you for the super chat. He says, see, that's the difference right there. I hate BYU with every bone in my body every day of the year. Well, you're a Utah fan. I mean, I get that. Yeah, I mean, I understand how the rivalry. The thing with Georgia Tech, and I guess Georgia's a little strange in that they've got three primary rivals, which is a little unusual. It's Georgia Tech, Florida, and Auburn. And in the case of Georgia Tech, I mean, I'm not complaining, but when you're like 22-3 against a team that you play every year in the last 25 years, Georgia's 22-3 or 23-3, something like that, against Georgia Tech in the last 25 or 26 years. And it's a non-conference game. It doesn't mean any less. But when you're talking about hating somebody, I really only hate Georgia Tech 1 week a year. Isaiah Thomas says, I remember this obnoxious FSU caller last week. He also has to put the crack pipe down. Go Bucks. Yeah, he's called in every day since Florida State beat Bama. Mewtwo says, same as Julian saying, a freshman makes mistakes, get better every week. Well, it would be the same if Julian Saying was a freshman, but of course he's not a freshman at all. He's not even close to a freshman, actually. But other than that, yeah. As far as the comparison with Julian Saying to other freshman quarterbacks, Julian Saying would have to be a freshman in order for that comparison to be apples to apples, and he's not. Gatorman69, thank you for the super chat. How does Ohio State lose their DC and 8 defensive players and still have an elite defense? They got to be cheating. SEC can't let the Big Ten win Natty. No, they don't have to be cheating. They recruit in the top 5 every single year. As a Florida fan, you should look into that. It is possible to do that. Believe it or not, Georgia does it too, which is how Georgia won the Natty in 2021 with the best defense in the country. Then had 15 players drafted, including 7 or 8 starters off of that defense, and lost their coach to defensive coordinator to Oregon, but still managed to win the national title again the next year. Some teams are able to repeat their success year over year. As a Florida fan, you should look into that. Pappy Trappy, thank you for the super chat. He says, Lou, who's got the better rack, Dolly Parton or Josh Heupel? Boy, well, Josh Heupel's rack is at least real. So he does have that going for him, I guess. I don't know on that one. Biggs Mike says, pay Lou, Michigan down bad, but that's okay because at the end of the year, we will still beat Ryan Day. After every loss, I wonder how Ohio State loses to Michigan. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where people are going to have to see Ohio State win that game before they truly believe it'll happen, no matter how good or bad either one of those teams is. I get it. It's the same way with Georgia and Bama. Brian Gentry says, I love Michigan, man, but fuck Michigan, man. Psychotic Ninja, thank you for the super chat. He says the Florida fan reservation. We need a Florida fan reservation. Just ship them all there and cut off their internet. Bryce says LouTube to 100K by the end of the year. That might be a little bit too lofty of a goal. 75,000 was my goal for the end of the year. Turns out that might have been a little bit too low. We'll probably exceed that easily by the end of the year, but that was my goal for this year, was to get to 75K, and we're almost at 74 now with the season just starting, so probably get to 76 or 77,000 this year probably. Isaiah Thomas says Julian Sayin is a redshirt freshman, Lou, from Ohio State. I know who Julian Sayin is, and he's not a redshirt freshman. He played 4 games last year. I don't know if you understand how the redshirt rules work or not. But he played 4 games, so he's a sophomore this year. At least that's how he's listed, is as a sophomore. Played 4 games last year. Played 4 games last year. Wasn't he at Bama too, or no? Wasn't he at Bama and transferred, or no? Why am I thinking he was at Bama and then transferred? Am I wrong on that? Or did Bama want him, but he chose Ohio State? Maybe he flipped to Ohio State or something when Saban quit. Was he not at Bama? Oh, he was at Bama for 2 weeks. Okay. So he committed to Bama, signed with Bama, but then went to Ohio State after Saban left, before his first year started at Bama. I got you. Okay. I got you. Yeah, he played 4 games last year at Ohio State. All right, let's see who's next. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
How you doing, Uncle Lou?
Hey, buddy. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man.
Good.
I had one question for you tonight, but I've been sitting here listening to these bunch of ass wipes right now. But first of all, the drug of choice in Alachua County, Gainesville, Florida, is methamphetamines. It's not a crack pipe. So if you want to refer to Florida fans, it's meth.
Yeah.
Anyways, on top of that, I'm tired of bitches
too. Bath salts too is an issue down there.
But yeah, eat somebody's face, whatever.
Yeah.
But why are so many people pissed off with the AP rankings and preseason rankings and everything? Don't the college football rankings the only ones that matter, and don't they come out like the first week of like November? Why are everybody so fucking pissed about it? I mean, I'm a Florida State fan. I understand that. I mean, 2-10, we have no fucking reason in being any of them. Why are people so fucking mad about it?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I'm willing to like meet in the middle with some of the people who get upset about the rankings. For example, there's a lot being made this week about a couple of AP voters who, for example, still have Alabama ranked ahead of Florida State in their AP ballot. There's a lady from, I think, Baton Rouge that has Florida ranked 14th still, and South Florida ranked like 23rd or something. I can understand looking at those individual ballots within the AP poll and going, that's retarded. But one of the things to kind of take up for the AP and the coaches poll a little bit, I do believe that any ranking that involves a large group of people doing it is in general more accurate than a ranking that one person does, which is why there are 100 and something AP ballots that get sent out every week, so that this idiot in Louisiana that has South Florida ranked 23rd and Florida ranked 14th after we just saw South Florida beat Florida in Gainesville, her ballot gets washed out by the other 99 ballots that all get averaged together. So
I get it.
Like in general, I would rather it be done that way, that there be 100 or 200 people that are casting ballots, and then those ballots are averaged, and that's the poll you get. Like generally, that's a better way to do it. Instead of just letting one person say, okay, this is my ranking and this is what it is. But getting all upset about the AP and the coaches ranking, it just doesn't make any sense. None of it matters. It's the playoff
It's
ranking.
actually, honestly, I mean, like week 0 before that and everything, it's fun to do it. All right, we got it. You're looking at players, you're looking at recruits, you're looking at what they got returning and everything. All right, we can base it off on this, and then we'll do it accordingly all the way to it, and then we'll wait till college football rankings come out before we get fucking pissed off. But motherfuckers are mad at week 0, and then somebody upset somebody at week 1, and then it's like, why are we not ranked? We should be ranked.
And by the way,
bitch, what the fuck?
By the way, I'm for no rankings ever mattering at all, because I want a playoff format where each of the 4 conferences sends 4 teams to the playoffs at the end of the year. That's what I want.
We're on the same
page. Real sport with a real postseason decided the real way, like every other serious postseason on the planet is decided. That's what I want. They can keep ranking the teams all they want, but the AP, just like the AP ranking doesn't matter now, I want to get to a point where the playoff committee ranking doesn't matter. I just want, I don't care that the SEC is better than the ACC or the Big Ten is better than the Big 12. I don't care if the American Conference is better than the National Conference in the NFL. I don't care if the American League is better than the National League in Major League Baseball, and I don't care if the Eastern Conference is better than the Western Conference in the NBA. And no one else cares either, except for people that run college football. We have to get all worked up about strength of schedule, and this conference is better, so we got to put these teams in from here. If you can't finish 4th in your own conference, I don't give a fuck. If you're 5th in the SEC, I don't care that you think you're better than the 3rd best team in the ACC. I don't care. Don't finish 5th in your own fucking conference. If it's that big of a problem, leave the SEC and the giant paycheck at the door and go join the ACC if you think it's so fucking easy. Go. But leave it up to each conference. However they want to decide the 4 teams. I don't give a fuck. But each conference is responsible for sending 4 of its teams to the playoffs, 16-team playoff. All of this goes away. All of this bitching about the AP and the coaches poll. All of this accusing the playoff committee of being secretly ran by ESPN, which is retarded. It all goes away. Just every conference, the 4 conferences, group of 5, go do your own thing like you should have done a decade ago. Group of 5 have your own playoff. How you decide that is up to you. And ACC, SEC, Big 10, Big 12, you're sending 4 teams to the playoffs and be done.
What you got? Exactly. No, I'm all for it, man. I've been listening to you for years, and I've been on the same page you've been on. But I get it. That I had to get that off my chest. I'm sorry, but the original reason I was calling was because did you see Steve Sarkisian when a reporter asked him, hey, we've seen a lot of distress with Arch Manning passing, but is there anything with that? And
I saw it.
He went. I mean, in my opinion, he kind of like he lost his composure for a second. I don't know. Was that maybe a little stress? I don't know.
They've got pictures on the internet of photographers zoomed in on Arch Manning's face when he's throwing the ball, and he's grimacing, and they're like, "Well, he must be hurt." Well, I saw another post that has zoomed in pictures of Arch Manning throwing the ball last year, the year before, and in high school. And he's making the exact same face every time he throws the ball. I think he just has an ugly throwing face.
But his response was hilarious. Yeah. It was like, hey, I don't go in the bathroom and watch you take a shit.
Yeah.
He didn't say that. He didn't say take a shit, but you know what I mean? Like, but that's what he meant. And I was like, well, that's spot on. But then it was kind of like, what are you mad about? You know? Like, So I don't know. That was my original question, but I listened to about 3 or 4 callers before I got to get on here, and I had to address that. But I'm just saying, I was just kind of wondering, is Steve Sarkisian kind of like, is he? You maybe feeling a little pressure, you think?
I
or
think so,
not?
because he has kind of flamed out late in the season. I mean, if you really think about what was the last big win for Texas, really, was it at Alabama 2 years ago in the regular season? Was that? I mean,
You think about it.
I
Yep.
mean, they recruit well. They've got a ton of money. They've got star players. They've got it all. Now, I don't think he's a bad coach or whatever. You know what it is I think
Absolutely not.
we need somebody like Sarkisian, James Franklin. It used to be Ryan Day. This time last year, what were we saying? Boy, if Ryan Day don't win the Natty, it's boy.
But he did.
And he
But
did.
he did.
And so it's like whoever is close but not. It's like we're like, oh man. But he's feeling the pressure. He's got to win it this year. I don't know if Texas is going to win the Natty this year or not. I mean, all I know is how I feel as a fan about my favorite team, Georgia. Now, I will admit that this is a lot easier for me to feel this way now after watching Georgia win 2 Natties. So maybe if you're a fan of a team that hasn't won one in a while, I could understand you not agreeing with what I'm about to say. All I want from my favorite team is a chance most of the time. That's all I want. I want Georgia to be playing games in November and December that are extremely important. Right. And I know they're not going to make the playoffs every year, but like if Georgia were to lose, we talked earlier about what if Georgia loses to Tennessee, Bama, and Auburn. Well, they play they play all
Tennessee cannot do good under pressure, but that's a different conversation.
I'm just saying, but if they did, that would put Georgia with 3 losses by the middle of October.
Correct.
Season pretty much over. That's that makes me mad. If Georgia were to get into the middle of November, most years with a shot to get into the playoffs, that's what I'm looking for as a fan. Now, again, I didn't always feel that way. When Georgia went 40 years without winning a Natty, and I was jumping out of windows. It was bad around here. And now they've won a couple, so it's easier for me to maybe feel that way now and say that. I can understand maybe if you're a Texas fan and it's been 20 years, or a Notre Dame fan and it's been almost 40 years, and you're like, I want a Natty, nothing else matters. Penn State hadn't won the same thing since the 80s. But it's going to be harder to win Natties with a 12-team playoff than it was before. It might be easier to get into the playoffs, but it's going to be harder to win the Natty because you got to beat 4 top 10 teams in a row. That's going to be extremely hard for anybody to do, So I want Georgia to be playing exciting, interesting games that matter in November into December every year. I know they're not going to win the Natty every year, but I'm happy to be a fan of a program right now that has put themselves in a spot to be relevant to that conversation every year. And Texas is that right now. They're not winning Natties, but they're relevant to that conversation every single year. So we'll see. Did he drop the call? Yeah, he dropped the call. I don't know if he disconnected or what happened there. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Uncle Lou.
Hey,
I
buddy.
just wanted to say, man, I love your content.
Oh, thank you.
It helps the work week go by a lot quicker. And even I took my mom out from Oklahoma City to Albuquerque to go see her family, and I put on the Your Season Is Over video, and she loved it. So she watches it every week now.
I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks.
Of course, of course. I was calling because I heard the Michigan guy, and I just wanted to say there's still, like you were saying, I wouldn't just give up on brown underwear yet.
No, I'm not.
Brent had a great scheme. Now, I will say they definitely had the handcuffs on that man. Like they had him to a point that they weren't throwing downfield. It was run, pass. And as an Oklahoma man myself, obviously I was super happy about the game, but I'm cautiously optimistic about the future of OU. I am of the belief that we shouldn't get rid of Brent Venables. I don't think that there's better out there currently. Like, what, we're going to get John Gruden? Like, come on, man. That's not how it's going to go.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's been a lot made about Michigan not playing well and not a whole lot about Oklahoma playing great defense. Now, I do think that there's reason for that. We haven't seen them consistently do that. They had the big win over Texas when we had Dylan Gabriel. next week go out and lay an egg against Kansas. I mean, that's just the way it's been. So I get why, but just I think that not a lot of people are giving Oklahoma a whole lot of credit, and I don't think they need a lot of credit. They don't really deserve it. I'm not an unrealistic OU fan. Okay, I've been realistic, but it really feels like with Mateer there and everything that they have a shot, like you're saying, to play like meaningful games and to be in the conversation.
Yeah, I've got Oklahoma at
I'm
9-3. I think Oklahoma's going to be good. I've got them at 9-3. I've got them beating LSU at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be good this year. Massive improvement. And John Mateer is better than I thought he would be. I thought he would be good. It's similar to Michigan in that I didn't know how good John Mateer would be, but I was like, there's no way it's not going to be an improvement over last year. Like, it was so bad. And at Michigan, too, you're like, well, Bryce Underwood's a freshman, but it can't be as bad as last year. Looked at Mateer the same way. But I said on, and speaking of the Your Season's Under video, I think I said it on there. That's the best quarterback performance I've seen this year.
Thus far,
was John Mateer in a high level game like that. I'm sure you could point somebody out. Well, Sawyer Robertson at Baylor's another one, and then nobody's talking about this guy either. This guy needs to be on the Heisman list.
He looks apart.
He does. He might be the best quarterback in football through the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season. But John Mateer's performance against what I think is a really good Michigan defense is the best quarterback performance I've seen this year.
I will say that the way that he plays, he will cost Oklahoma a game this year. And it's nothing. I'll take it. Trust me. I will take it over Jackson Arnold not throwing the ball down the field. I will take and I think Jackson Arnold's going to do great at Auburn this year. Already he's looking great. But I will say the way that he plays, I mean, he's willing to take some shots, and I'm all for that. You know, I'm glad. I'm as Oklahoma man, trust me, after last year, we are just happy to see the ball go down the field further than 10 yards. Okay, we're just happy with that.
Yeah.
But I will say he will cost Oklahoma a game this year, whether it be like just a bad pick or just have one of those days, you know. And I mean, that's fair.
Schedule's tough, too. Every
what
SEC opponent on your schedule is ranked right now. It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
it
tough,
hasn't
too.
been fun for us joining the SEC thus far. I mean, it's been fun for me. I've been going to the game since I was a little kid. It's been fun for me to have some of the SEC different fan bases in a town, and I've experienced a lot of fan bases over the years. And I will say that Michigan fans, man, they were awesome. Even when they had lost the game, they held themselves with good composure. I appreciated them. I know that they had to be fuming after that game because the play calling was awful. Their team played horrible on offense, defensively, But we'll see about OU. I will say, if you're a betting man, I would definitely take Temple to cover the spread against Oklahoma this next week.
Yeah, is it
I would
huge?
take
I'm sure
that
it's
all
a
day.
huge number. Is it in the 40s?
It's no. It's 24.5 now, but Temple's put up. Now they've played cans of corn, as you would say.
Yeah.
They've outscored their opponents like 100-10. They've outgained their opponents by like 600 yards. OU's coming off the Michigan game.
Yeah,
I've seen it before, man.
Yeah, letdown spot. Yeah.
I will say last week, and this is my last thing. I'm sorry, I don't mean to hog up all the time.
No, you're good.
Last week, I told my coworker, I said, "Listen, man, I'm telling you, if you're betting, take USF to at least cover the spread." And I said the same thing that you were saying. Miami is going to beat the ever-loving dog shit out of USF this week. I do truly believe that.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think Vanderbilt is gonna go in and win.
They could.
And I don't think they're better than South Carolina. I kind of have that feeling about Tennessee too, and it's not that I think Tennessee is better than Georgia. I would be a crack baby or a dumpster baby if I thought that. But I just feel like it's one of those like. It kind of feels like a letdown spot to me. I hope because Tennessee fans are so annoying after us joining the SEC, I really hope that that's not the case and that Georgia really was just pulling punches, don't want to show the playbook before the big game. I really hope that's the case, but
me too.
I just have a weird feeling about it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. All right, buddy. Good luck the rest of the way. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the kind words as well. I appreciate that. Isaiah Thomas said, I just looked. Louis listed as a redshirt freshman on Ohio State's roster. The Big Ten currently named him freshman of the week. Bryce Undershit is a crack baby. Yeah, but he's still a player who's been at Ohio State for 2 years and played in 4 games last year. To compare him to Bryce Underwood is not a fair comparison. I mean, I could say the same thing then about Gunnar Stockton. Gunnar Stockton's been at Georgia for 3 or 4 years, but he's never been the starter till this year, so it's just not the same. Gunnar Stockton being at Georgia for 4 years and starting now is not the same as Bryce Underwood starting 6 months after he graduates or a year after he graduates high school. Like it's just, or 6 months after he graduates high. It's just not the same. And it's not the same for Julian Sayah. Kai Millette says, Lou, what's going on? This is Kai, the tech guy here. Hope you're doing all right, sir. Big one for us this week. How do you see it going? I'm on Georgia Tech. I've been not impressed by Clemson. And look, I had Clemson as a top 2 team in the country heading into the season. I think I had them ranked 2nd or 3rd. Something. I had them ranked really. I thought Clemson was going to be really good. I picked them to beat LSU. They obviously didn't, and the offense was non-existent. And then they came out the following week. And I know it was against a low-level team, but because they lost in week 1, I was expecting a good performance from Clemson in week 2. Normally, I don't get too concerned when high-level teams play down to these terrible G5 or FCS schools. But because Clemson had lost, that wasn't what I was expecting to see from them. And they were losing 16-0. I mean, that's different than saying, oh, man, I can't believe Georgia's only winning 14-3. Well, yeah, but they're winning. Clemson was losing 16-0. It's concerning. And now they got to go on the road to a Georgia Tech team that I think has put everything into this game. And Clemson's more talented. And look, if Clemson gets it together and plays well, they'll beat Georgia Tech because they're the more talented team. It is what it is. But there's just nothing I've seen that makes me comfortable enough that that's going to happen to pick them to win. So I'm going with Georgia Tech in that one. Going with Georgia Tech in that one. All right, what time is it? God, it's 11:30. Holy shit! All right, we went on 2.5 hours. I'm gonna have to run through these next phone calls. You guys know the deal. I have to get out of here at a decent time on Tuesdays. Thursdays I can stay on much longer, but Tuesdays I have to get out of here at a relatively decent time. So we are gonna have to run through these calls relatively quick here. So when I put you on, you're welcome to make any point it is you want to make, and then I'll have to move on after that to the next caller. What am I trying to do here? I gotta fix that. It's getting on my nerves. The scroll on the bottom. Y'all see the scroll on the bottom over there about the streaming schedule? I just now noticed that it's not lined up right, and now that I've noticed it, I can't unnotice it, and I have to fix it. Okay, I fixed it. That must be that's either my OCD or my retardation acting up. Of course, I'm all over the spectrum. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Uncle Lou. How you doing?
Doing good.
Yeah, I mean, I've just gone in, I'm a Georgia fan. I called last Tuesday, but I wasn't able to make Thursday. I'm going to try and make it Thursday this time. But I guess what kind of drove me crazy on the last Georgia game, like you with the halftime, is that we didn't try a quarterback sneak with a dual threat quarterback. We lined up in I formation on the final play, and it's like they see that play coming. You're gonna load the box. So I mean, I don't know why Bobo went with that. I mean, I understand why he went with the all passes. Because we just we were out of time, and you have to do passing plays to conserve the clock. I just don't know why he did that before. As far as the Tennessee game goes, I'm kind of staying humble, honestly. Like I know some Vol fans, and I'm not even talking anything to them. Like, as far as the game goes, I'm just saying, like, it should be a good game. Good luck to you, and we'll see what happens. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's going to be a good game. I really do. Thank you for the call. If you're being fair about the game and trying to put fanhood aside and all that, there really isn't a reason to pick Georgia in this game outside of blind trust and faith in Kirby Smart and the staff and what they've done to Tennessee and Josh Heupel over the last 3 or 4 years. Like if you knew nothing about anything that had ever happened in college football until the start of this season, and you could just block everything else out of your mind, and all you knew about college football was what you have seen in week 0, week 1, and week 2 of this year, you would have to pick Tennessee to win the game. You would have to pick Tennessee to win the game. Now, of course, that's not how things work, and coaching staffs matter, and all of that. But I can understand why the line has come all the way down to 3.5, where it started at 6, 7, 8 points at one point, and it's down to 3. Like, I get it. Georgia has not looked as good this season as Tennessee has. Now, that's been the case in previous seasons. A couple of years ago, Tennessee was ranked number 1, came into Athens, couldn't get a first down, lost the game. 2 years ago, Tennessee thought they were beating Georgia. Georgia goes up there. Tennessee gets out to Tennessee scored on the first play of the game last year in Knoxville. Y'all have all seen them talk about breaking the sound record or the decibel record or whatever it is. That was that. First play of the game, Tennessee scores on a running play, 70-yard touchdown or something. Broke the sound record. They didn't score another touchdown the rest of the game, and they lost. So we'll see. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Uncle Lou. How are you?
Hey, buddy. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just came to talk shit to Florida State. Florida, man.
Okay.
How's it feel to get your you in South Florida to get your shit push them, have them push your shit in? And guess what? It's group of 5, man. How you feel about Memphis against Arkansas? In 2 weeks.
How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
I'll take Arkansas.
Oh my God. I think Brandon Lewis is going to do good this year. I think we got a running game that can go with anybody, especially with Arkansas. Well, not anybody, but definitely Arkansas. But I'm really looking forward to this Miami game.
Yeah.
I think Byron Brown, they need something else other than Byron Brown. That's the main thing. They got like one wide receiver.
Yeah.
I like Isaac. He's really good. Carson Beck, I'm just praying that he goes back to intersection back. You know what I'm saying? That's all. And Octavian, how that shit feel, son? How that shit feel? But anyway, goodbye, Uncle Lou. That's all I came to do.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Hey, some Octavian shit talk here near the end of the show. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, how's it going, Uncle Pooh?
Going good.
Yeah, I just want to say,
Yeah, thank you for the call. That was amazing. You've had 30 minutes and you can't put a sentence together, but your screen name is Auburn National Champion, so that might explain why. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, how's it going?
Going good.
Good. So I briefly wanted to just chat about South Florida and, I guess, the first 2 games. They've had 2 wins against 2 top 25 teams. Now, say what you want about Florida and whatnot and how they're not, good and whatnot, but that's still a win against at the time, a top 25 ranked team, right? So let me ask you this, hypothetically speaking, right? So they play Miami this upcoming Saturday. Let's say somehow they do beat Miami, right? Would you rank them? Where would you rank them after a win like that against a top 5 ranked Miami team? Would you rank them in the top 5?
Yes.
Or how far would you jump?
I would have them in. If they beat Miami, I will put them in my top 5. Yes.
Yeah,
I would have them ahead of anybody with a loss. I would tell you that for 100% for certain. They'd be ahead of Texas, ahead of Notre Dame, ahead of Clemson, ahead of the loser of Georgia, Tennessee. I might still have teams like Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, LSU. Might still have those teams ranked too. So I say top 5. I don't know. They may be 6, they may be 7, but they would be extremely high, and they would be ahead of any team with a loss. Yeah, if they started the year with wins against Boise State, Florida, and Miami, and 2 of those 3 wins were on the road, they would be higher than any team with a loss this early in the year.
You have to put them at least 5th. At least in my opinion, you have to, just because of the wins that they've already had. That's 3 wins against, let's see, Power 5 team, an SEC team, and an ACC team already. So, but I just wanted to get that point across.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good.
All right, buddy. Thank you for the call. Let's see who's up now. Good morning, you're all with Uncle Lou. Okay. All right, did you figure out what it is you wanted to say yet?
Hey, how's it going, Uncle Lou?
Yeah, it's going good.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, if we took into account, strength of schedule, Auburn will be, ranked ahead of Georgia. I mean, Georgia couldn't even run the ball against Marshall nor Austin Peay. They couldn't ran the ball against neither of them two, neither of those two teams. And Auburn beat a pretty good Baylor team. I mean, they have a better strength schedule as well than Georgia.
Yep, Auburn hasn't had a winning record since COVID. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
What's going on, Uncle Lou? I have this Gator fan that's debating me here in the back. I want you to put him on. His name, him, yeah. What's going on, dude?
Man, you know what, Octavian? I came on here earlier, and I love you, dude. You're my guy. You're my guy. You're making this look bad, Octavian. Come on.
How am I making this look
bad? Octavian, you said South Florida who?
Yes, South Florida.
Why would you undermine them, man? Why do you undermine USF? You know what they've been doing?
Because they're a Power 5 school, and we're a Group of 5. They're a Group of 5 school, and we're a Power 5 school. We should beat them.
Yes, we should. But we don't overlook them.
I do. I would, because they're
why? You remember what? I don't like Nick Saban, but he's a good coach. You don't overlook anybody. You never get caught. Now we're being like Billy Napier's. We're all Billy Napier's, dude. Do you like Billy Napier?
Fuck no, I don't like Billy Napier. I wish his ass was fired.
I want his ass fired. He's bum.
Yeah, he's a bum.
But it's not helping us. We got Psycho Seminole over there, the dumpster baby, calling us out. We got everybody's calling us out. Come on, Octavian, let's do better.
Well, we got to get better, man.
Let's get together. Let's get together, man. We can do this together, my man. We can be Uncle Lou's greatest Gator tandem of all time. We can make Uncle Lou.
What is going on here?
YouTube,
what is
man.
happening here?
If we can pull our heads together and be like the mega powers of Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan, dude.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's do it. We need to have a show. Uncle Lou need to give us a show. That'd be fun.
What is happening here? Is this some kind of weird? This has turned into some sort of weird Florida Gators matchmaking routine. Are y'all going to Olive Garden this weekend? What are y'all doing?
Well, let me tell you something, Lou. I think we had a misunderstanding, but now the connection is strong. We're gonna be okay, Lou.
Yeah, we're gonna be okay.
We're gonna be okay. I think we need to give us a show, Lou. We need to go on a show, man. I think it'd be good.
Go on a show now. All right, I gotta go, guys. That was great, though. Thank y'all. That was amazing. All right, that's gonna do it. I appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. I don't know what to do after that. That was extremely strange and honestly bordering on the uncomfortable there at the end. John Seabolt, thank you for the super chat. He says, late to the party again. I'm worried about Joey this weekend. UJ is a whole different animal than who they've played. Go Vols. I think it's going to be a good game. It makes sense to me why the line is all the way down to 3.5, and I think Tennessee's got a chance to win. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm going to probably pick Georgia to win. If I was a betting man, I'd probably take Tennessee plus the 3.5 points. I think it'll be a close game. We'll see. I'm betting on the fact that Georgia's going to open up the offense and Gunnar Stockton's going to throw the ball downfield here, which we haven't seen all year. If that's not the case, then Tennessee will win the game, and I'm going to be losing the game won't throw me into a hissy fit probably, but if we lose and it's the same version of the offense that I saw the first 2 weeks, then that's it for me, and I'm off every possible train, and it's going to be a meltdown. If it's the same sort of dink and dunk bullshit that we've seen the first 2 weeks, if that happens, I'm going to lose it. I can stand a loss. I've seen plenty of losses. I can stand a loss. If it's the same elementary offense I've seen the last 2 weeks, I'm gonna. It's not gonna be good around here. That I can tell you. Anyway, I do appreciate everybody tuning in tonight to the call-in show, Uncle Lou After Dark. Again, I do this every Tuesday and Thursday, so if you didn't get a chance to call in tonight or I had to kind of rush you through there at the end, I hope you'll call back on Thursday at 9. On Thursdays, I can go much later. I don't really have a certain cutoff time for Thursdays, but for on Tuesdays, I do have to get out of here at a relatively decent time. In fact, I'm over already, but so I hope to see you all back here on Thursday. The streaming schedule for this weekend, big surprise. I thought the Patreon for sure would choose the 3:30 time slot, but unless it's changed in the last couple hours, I checked it right before I went live tonight, and it looked like prime time was winning. And it is. So the Patreon stream will be prime time on Saturday night for LSU, Florida, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Vandy, South Carolina. 3 massive games on Saturday night. We'll be live streaming all of those over on Patreon starting at 7:30, which means I'll be able to stream the Georgia-Tennessee game on YouTube at 3:30. So maybe Georgia will lose and y'all can troll me in real time while I melt down about Georgia on Saturday. We'll see. That game's at 3:30 Saturday. So I'll be live on YouTube Saturday at 3:30 for Georgia-Tennessee. South Florida and Miami, I think, comes on at like 4:30, so we'll watch some of that game too, and then we'll be on Patreon in prime time. The link to the Patreon page is in the description if you want to check it out. Shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring the show tonight. Make sure you get the app downloaded. It's a lot of fun. Adds to the excitement of these college football weekends. Download the Sleeper app today. Use promo code LOU, and they're going to give you a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100, courtesy of Uncle Lou. That's right. Deposit 100, get another 100, courtesy of yours truly. Download the Sleeper app today. You'll be glad you did. Maybe you can make yourself some money watching these college football games this weekend. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you Thursday night at 9 for the next edition of the Call-In Show. Have a good morning.